talk, definitely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We've been talking with Brian Keating about his latest book in the Going Wild series, Amazing Animal Adventures on Islands. Stay with us. We're back in just a moment.
Tonight on Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw. Despite being less than halfway through the season, the Medicine Hat Tigers are already starting to run away with the Central Division title. Led by the league's most prolific offense, the Tigers have won 10 of their last 11. However, it's only the first day of December, and the Calgary Hitmen, who trailed their rivals by 12 points, are not ready to wave the white flag just yet. Take your seat, the show is about to begin. It's the Hitmen and Tigers next.
It is considered the sunniest city in Canada, but the Calgary Hitmen do not expect to receive a warm welcome here at the arena in Medicine Hat. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw. I am your host, Dan Elliott. Averaging a league best 4 goals per game, the Medicine Hat Tigers live by the MO scoring by committee. 10 players on the Tigers roster have scored at least 7 goals this season. But if there is a team that knows how to slow the Hat down, it is the Calgary Hitmen, who have beaten them in 2 of their 3 meetings this season, the one loss coming by way of shootout. For more on tonight's matchup, let's head upstairs to 2 guys that'll be calling the game, Dan Russell and Bill Wilms.
Thanks very much, Dan. We are dead right about the Medicine Hat Tigers. Since we last saw the Tigers on Shaw a month ago, they are hot. In fact, Bill, they're the hottest team in the Western Hockey League, 10-0-1.
You know, they've been spectacular. They've got 23 wins, which is the most in the WHL. Their 48 points are the most in the WHL. And you know, Dan, they score by committee, and they've got a terribly stingy defense. As a matter of fact, they only allowed 10 shots the last game they played in this building.
Yeah, that was a shutout against Moose Jaw. Calgary, by the way, is playing their 5th straight road game just in front of a long homestand. They're coming off an American portion of a road trip. They ran into a lot of snow, but the snow didn't slow them down.
Oh, they had 2 big wins the last 2 games they played, at Seattle and at Portland. And then they also, in that trip, Dan, had a shootout loss against the #1 team in the country, the Everett Silvertips. So, you know, they are playing their last of 5 games in a row on the road, and then they get 10 games at home.
Yeah.
They can't wait to get this game over with and get on that homestand.
The first of which is tomorrow against the same Medicine Hat Tigers. But first things first, we got a lot of talent on display here. Brody DuPont really wielding a hot stick. He had a hat trick last night in Kamloops at the ADT WHL Challenge.
Yeah, and he had 2 shorthanded goals in Portland. Hey, listen, he leads his team in goals, in power play goals, shorthanded goals, game-winning goals. You know why? Dan, he goes into the trenches, or he'll park himself in front of the net to get that puck on goal. Simply put, Brody DuPont, New York Ranger draft, is an all-out player. For the Medicine Hat Tigers, there's a couple defense, Dan. To me, they're the best defensive pairing in the entire league. That's Chris Russell and David Schlemko. Russell with 15 goals. He leads all defensemen in goals. Schlemko, 27 assists, leads all defensemen in assists. Here's the key. When those 2 guys are together on the power play, they are a handful for any team. And tonight, it's somehow the Calgary Hitmen are going to have to find a way to stop those 2 guys on the power play.
2 premier defensemen indeed in the Western Hockey League. Like I say, a lot of talent on display. Speaking of Schlemko, let's go down to ice level, and Barry Strader has Mr. Schlemko with him.
Thanks very much. I'm here with Dave Schlemko, the Medicine Hat Tigers. Dave, you've lost your last 2 matchups against the Calgary Hitmen, but you've got a home-and-home series with them this weekend. A good chance to get back in the lead in the season series.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys have taken 5 out of 6 points for us, so this weekend's huge. We want to come out with a good effort tonight and carry that into Calgary tomorrow.
You've got 31 points in 30 games so far this season as a defenseman. That's outstanding. What's been the keys to your success?
Well, playing with a guy like Chris Russell on the power play doesn't hurt. When you feed him, he usually buries. But yeah, I don't know. It's always good to get points, but I know getting the wins is more important. We've been doing that lately, so it's been good both ways.
Also, it's nice to have Matt Keatley back in net since he's returned. It's been real successful for you.
Yeah, for sure. He's a great goalie, and we definitely missed him when he was out. It's good to see him back in good form.
Thanks very much. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks a lot.
And they talked about Keatley there, and he is back, and boy is he hot. 20-year-old with just 2 outright losses this year. Great matchup, Dan, as we send it back down to you.
All right, thanks, guys. It should be a good one. Stick around. The drop of the puck is coming up next right here on Boston Pizza. WHL Hockey on Shaw.
Okay, guys, pick whatever you want. Okay, guys, pick whatever you want.
It's not wrong if you're in the right place. Boston Pizza. You're among friends.
Strauss Natural Health Products make great gifts for people important to you. All Strauss products on sale until December 9th at participating health product retailers across Canada.
Flight Center sells more than just cheap airline tickets. We also have a huge selection of cruises to choose from. Come into any of our 130 shops across Canada or call 1-877-WORLD-05. And remember, we guarantee to beat any available airfare.
Petland Superstores. So much more than a pet store. We are your pet's best friend. Not to mention all the expert advice and supplies you'll need to care for them. And of course, pets. Petland, your pet supply superstore.
Yeah, I got needs. Big needs. Nothing that 362 pounds of pure torque can't take care of, though!
And a pleasant good evening again from the broadcast booth at the Medicine Hat Arena as we get set to bring you another chapter in the great Central Division rivalry between Calgary and Medicine Hat. Let's look at the starting goalies. Calgary, coached by Kelly Kissio, will have Dan Spence in goal, 18-year-old from Langley, with 14 wins this year, a 91.7 save percentage. Up the ice, the Medicine Hat Tigers, coached by Willie Desjardins, will have Matt Keatley. We just talked about his 16-2-1 record. He has 91.4 save percentage this season. The referees tonight, well, this couldn't be more fair, Bill. You got Devin Klein, 32-year-old from Medicine Hat. He's a police officer. Mark McIsaac, 33-year-old from Calgary. He's a school teacher.
Hey, all's fair in this situation is they make sure that this is equal. This is going to be a heck of a battle here tonight. Of the 5 losses, as you heard earlier, that the Tigers have had, 2 have come against this Calgary team. In fact, the last 2 games they played, it's been Calgary Hitmen wins.
Tigers going left to right in the dark uniforms as they shoot the puck into Calgary territory from the opening faceoff. That's Plant over there, back of the net for Calgary. Swiston intercepts the puck. Swiston couldn't get it down low, but they're digging after it there in the corner. Number 14 is Helm. He couldn't get it in front of the net. Now the Hitman able to move it out. Here is Dupont, who we spoke about just a moment or two ago, as he rolls it in. White gives chase. Dupont's loose in the slot, takes a shot, and a good save by Keatley. Dupont found a soft spot in the slot and got a good shot away, and Keatley very alert with the pad for the first shot on goal. Tigers get the puck, and out they come, led by Darren Helm. Helm gets it to Swiston. Puts it in front of the net, but the Tigers making a line change, so nobody there. And Calgary able to get the puck out to the neutral zone. Of course, a big sellout crowd. That's the norm here in Medicine Hat, and they love it when Calgary's in town. And you'll hear them getting on the Hitmen all night long. This is one of the great rivalries in the Western Hockey League. Benfield puts a long shot wide of the net. It's chalked out. Covington giving chase for Calgary, and the puck goes out of play at the Medicine Hat bench.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Big talk has been the fact that Matt Keatley's only played the 1 game against this hockey club. So he's looking forward to this as a game right here now. Only the 1 game he played was that shootout win, the only win that the Tigers have had.
Keatley's made the only save so far, and it was a good pad save as Dancero brings it in over the line for Covington. Couldn't collect the puck, and the Tigers able to get it to the line, but not out. Yo, long shot, tipped right on the target. Dancero on the rebound, and that's stopped by Keatley. Dancero's deflection was a marvelous save by Keatley, as the Hitmen keep it in. Stone shot, that's blocked. Yo will try his luck. High shot over top the net as the Hitmen put on some pressure here, and Keatley looks real sharp in the early going in the Tiger goal. Medicine Hat making a line change as they knock the puck into Calgary territory. We're hitting the 2-minute mark of this first period. And here comes Duval out of his own zone. Nice addition from the Regina Pats this year for the Calgary Hitmen. Now it's the Tigers getting it out to center as Bosch was able to knock it out, but the Hitmen put it right back in again. Here's Brown to his own line. Now the Rumpel trying to steal right there in the slot, did not. The Hitmen jump on the puck, but we're going to get a penalty here as Pettersson touched the puck. Interference penalty being called on Calgary.
Dan, Heatley, as you said, made a couple big saves, and he made the shot from the point. The big rebound does come back out in front of the net. This is a key save right there, and he's in great position to make that rebound. Danzero falling as he tries to get that shot on the net. Penalty up. It looks like it's the call against the Calgary Hitmen, and we'll get a chance to see the first Calgary power play.
It's the Medicine Hat power play. Pettersson in the penalty box, 2 minutes for interference. The Hitmen, by the way, have killed off 33 of their last 35 kills. Calgary penalty killing third best in the Western League. The Medicine Hat power play is number 4. They click at 21.7% efficiency. Undershoot tries to feather a pass. Russell from the point also tried to do the same thing. Neither one worked, and the Hitmen get it out. Here's DuPont shorthanded. Winding up, taking a shot. Keatley makes another save. That's 4 shots he's already faced here in the first 3 minutes. And the Tigers looking for their first shot on goal as Helm is chased back by Covington. Helm gets it to Russell. Back for Schlemko. The Hitmen not letting the Tigers wind up out of their own zone, but here they come now. Rumpel hard in over the blue line. Rumpel back to the blue line, but nobody's there. He thought there'd be a right point man, but they were making a change. And so Medicine Hat ices it on behalf of the Calgary penalty kill.
Right now, the Hitmen have done a very good job, Dan, of keeping that puck in that neutral ice area, not letting the Tigers set up deep in that zone where the Tigers are right now. This is when they're dangerous. Any power play is when you get to this position right here.
Glass cross-ice pass. That's intercepted. The Hitmen shorthanded, and a 2-on-0 breakaway. Duval in over the line, and a backhand shot taken there by McMillan is stopped by Keatley. And that's now 5 saves for Keatley. And there's the first time Spence has had to handle the puck. Bosch on the rebound. Another chance in front. The delayed penalty coming up on Calgary. Russell from the line. Now what's going on? What are we going on? An illegal change blew the whistle down, so we'll get a face-off out at center. That does not mean there won't be a 2-man advantage, but that's why the whistle went.
Boy, you get into a 2-man short situation, you're really asking for trouble. It came right after a pretty good chance in the short-handed case where Calgary came up the ice. Good break out of their own zone. But now with a 2-man advantage, I don't know why the face-off is back at center. Really doesn't matter. The long and the short of this is the Tigers do have a 5-on-3 situation. And this is for 13 seconds or less. So Tigers got to get a shot on goal or a setup real quick. This
and
might
they
be
do
it.
just that. Russell dishing it down. Schlemko walks right in, and it's poked off his stick. Now it's Dorsett. Russell, shot, save, rebound, off the post. Schlemko hits the post. They do get a great chance in the very brief 2-man advantage. Now Russell again. Over to Schlemko. Russell takes that pass again as they pass it back and forth to one another. Schlemko to Dorsett. Shot, save, rebound.
Well, you know, those two guys at the blue line we're talking about, Schlemko and Russell, doesn't take them long to convert. These are the guys we talked about in our pregame. They move it around. There's the shot. There's the rebound. A good job of attempting to box out in front of the net, but there's just, you can't do it when you get a couple extra guys charging into the net. That's exactly what happened. Schlepko right in front of the net right there with the shot. The rebound ends up going over top of the goaltender. Stevens with the goal, making it 1-0 Medicine Hat Tigers.
.456 the time of the goal. It is a power play marker. And after Matt Keatley made 3 or 4 pretty good saves in the first couple of minutes, Calgary gets themselves in some penalty trouble, and the Tigers convert. So sometimes you can have a great start, Bill, and all of a sudden you're down 1-0. I thought Calgary had a real good start here.
Yeah, they did. I thought they did a terrific job at killing off the first parts of that penalty. But, you know, if you get that shot on net, and if you can move the puck around quickly, you have a pretty good opportunity to get the defensive players to make a lot of decisions. And when you make a lot of decisions, sometimes you make the wrong decision, and that's what happened there. Finally, the Tigers were able to get that puck to Stevens in front of the net for the goal.
And Stevens right off the crossbar and down. They just hit the post a second or two earlier, so I was wondering if it might just hit the crossbar and stay out. No, it bounced in for the Tigers. And the other thing is icing is called. We should point out that Moose Jaw had a 60-minute game in here, as we said off the beginning, had 10 shots on goal. Calgary had 5 shots on goal in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They came out firing, and Keatley had to be good right off the bat. Plant doing a nice job on defense for this Calgary team. I talked about him playing so much as a 15-year-old now in his draft year. Hey, he's shot out of nowhere. He's made a whole bunch of draft lists, Alex Plant has. And, you know, he's just really been coming on, but he's got caught right there.
Here's Helm cutting in, shot, save, rebound! And no, it's held out by Spence, but it was sitting there sweetly for the Tigers, but they couldn't lift it over him.
This is just great speed through the neutral ice area. Tigers are flying. Helm, Detroit draft, starts to play up in, actually gets that shot from that position right there, and Spence has to be really, really good not to allow a rebound. But I love the fact there were 3 white-shirted Calgary Hitmen right around their net. That's the boxing out that they have to do to make sure there aren't any rebounds. Stevens has already scored on 1 rebound for the Tigers.
Now each team have 5 shots on goal. The first 5 posted by Calgary, last 5 by the Tigers, as it shot down the ice for a Calgary icing here.
Willie Desjardins was asked before the game about this situation here with Calgary winning 2 of the 3 games they've played so far this year.
I mean, it really doesn't matter if they beat us or not. There's other teams that have played well against us, and all we can do is play our best and make sure every guy's ready to go. And we certainly would like to win, and we're certainly going to play hard to win, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see the outcome. Okay, thanks.
The first goal tonight, and that's the 22nd time they've done so. Medicine had 19-2 when scoring the first goal of the game.
Dorsett trying to work the puck in front of the goal, cannot. Here's Sawney for Calgary. He gets it out. Dan Thoreau, who was stopped on a great deflection by Keatley before the game's first goal. Now Dorsett to Stevens. Stevens over the line, throwing it in front, and Dorsett couldn't reach it. Here comes Calgary back the other way, led by White. White dropping a pass back for DuPont. He's taken out of the play. White trying to throw it in front. Merkley was there for a moment, but White couldn't give him the puck. Now a giveaway, and maybe the wrong guy to give it to. There's White, now DuPont. DuPont shot, stop, rebound, and it's touched by Medicine Hat, which draws the whistle for the delayed penalty. High sticking infraction, so Calgary's going to go on their first man advantage.
You know, this comes after Brody DuPont is taken out very, very solidly, I thought, by the Medicine Hat Tigers. And then he somehow finds a way to get in front of the net. That pass is intercepted right by DuPont, who was up against the wall earlier, but he still got himself in good position, high slot area, to get the shot on the net. And Ryan White just missed on the rebound.
All right, first Calgary power play. Alsner from the point, operating alongside Alex Plant. You got White up front with DuPont and Merkley. That shot by White was blocked, but he gets it back again. Now Merkley and White trying to get some room. Alsner's long shot's knocked down. Plant's long shot, that's knocked down, and it's shot to the line, but not out by Medicine Hat. Russell a second chance to get it out. This time he does. Calgary's power play is 6th best in the Western Hockey League. They at 20.4%. The Tigers' penalty kill is number 5 ranked. Now Pettersson over the line with Duval in front. There's going to be another penalty. This will be a 2-man advantage when they give up the puck. Plante moving in, shot wide of the goal. Should they give it up quicker or not? That's always the question.
That's always a question. You get the extra goaltender, the extra player for the goaltender. It does give you a man advantage. Going to show you exactly what happens here. Freddie Peterson is very, very clever. He's a Edmonton Oilers draft. That's him with a puck right there. What a neat little move to get past the Medicine Hat Tiger player. Then he gets hooked. Soon as he got past, there was going to be some problems, and the Tiger player, we don't exactly catch who it is, puts a stick on him, and it looks like it's undershoot. He's in the box, and we'll play with a Calgary power play now, 2-man advantage with 57 seconds left or less in the 2-man advantage. So, boy, what a great opportunity for the Hitmen.
Just like Medicine Hat's opportunity earlier, except longer. And here's Alsner. And there's a pass down low. And Duval got in so tight. Gets another chance, throws it in front. Alsner's shot. That did not reach the net. Alsner. Plante. Here's Alsner again. They can't settle the puck down. It's bouncing around. There's not much time. The passes have to be crisp. Tigers are making sure they're not so far. Plante again. Down low. Duval. Pettersson. Shot. Block. Plante. Duval. Back to Plante. Nothing in the way of a great scoring chance yet. Just 9 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. His shot by Plante knocked down again, and the Tigers get it down the ice.
You know, you saw the Tigers, or the Calgary Hitmen defense try to get to the top of the face-off circle to get that shot from in tight, but the Tigers did a terrific job of not allowing that to happen.
And again, they send Calgary all the way back. 44 seconds to go in a 1-man advantage. As we near the midway point of this opening period here in Medicine Hat, 1-0 for the hometown Tigers. Here's White going in hard. Shot is stopped nicely by Keatley. Good glove hand.
You know, every team has a Ryan White type of player. Every National Hockey League team. A guy you could put out in any situation. You could kill penalties. You can put him on the power play. He dances through traffic there, gets the shot on Ed Keatley in a very, very good position to make that save. But I'll tell you, this White has just done a terrific job, I think, for the Calgary Hitmen.
18-year-old from Brandon.
3rd-round pick by the Canadians in the 06 draft.
And he went to Montreal. They had a great orientation for him in the summertime.
You know, they take him on a field trip. They had a private viewing of the Rocket film, the Maurice Richard story. They really get these kids indoctrinated quickly.
You have to in that organization. They have to have a sense of that history. I know Ryan Walter was there as part of the Montreal Canadiens staff, showing the youngsters. Imagine how big their eyes are when they first walk into the dressing room. The Montreal Canadiens.
No, it's phenomenal. It's just reeks with that kind of history. In fact, I think they even got a private viewing of, as I said, the Rocket Richard story, and then they had front row seats, if I may add, to a Nickelback concert. How about that?
Yeah, good. That sounds like a good time.
New York Rangers do the same thing for their guys. They get them in town in a real hurry and get them indoctrinated.
Puck shot into Tiger territory. Great job by Medicine Hat on the 2-man advantage. They killed both ends of it. Still lead in the game 1-0. The puck bouncing around here in the neutral zone. Sawney will try his luck, gets a little bit of room. Couldn't get it in deep. Rumpel gets it out. Kloof sends it back in again. Check thrown on the boards there by Ryan Letts, who's from Newport Beach, California. Bet he loved all that snow on that road trip. The Calgary Hitmen, by the way, took 16 hours from Portland on their last visit on their U.S. tour all the way back. 16 hours to get home on the Hitman Iron Lung.
Yeah, that Snoqualmie pass is really something, Dan. You and I have been through that pass many, many times. It's been closed already 3 or 4 times this winter.
And they had to stop and put the chains on the big bus as they got to the Snoqualmie Pass. Puck shot in by Spence. He tries a Snoqualmie pass of his own up there around the glass, but that didn't make it. Now Medicine Hat with a chance in the slot, and the shot on goal is stopped by Spence. Dorsett darting out of the corner there to get that shot. We got a penalty coming up too. So we'll sort that out when we come back. Right, 8:17 to go. First period, 1-0 Tigers. This is the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Okay, guys, pick whatever you want. Okay, guys, pick whatever you want.
It's not wrong if you're in the right place. Boston Pizza. You're among friends.
I wish I lived closer to the office. Not this close.
This one's only a 10-minute commute.
Find your perfect place with RE/MAX. View homes like never before with Google Earth on remax.ca.
All Strauss products on sale until December 9th at participating health product retailers across Canada.
At Myers Norris Penny, we support the teams of the WHL. Like you, we live in the West and believe in its potential. We also share a passion for the game.
Derek Dorsett does a good job of coming out of the corner of the rink with the puck here, but it's his partner, Matt Lowry, I think that gets called on the screen. This is Dorsett right here. Watch 19 right there in front of him. Go to the net. He gets an interference penalty. I believe it's Dorsett or Lowry. He's in the box. We're back with a Calgary power play.
And it's their third man advantage. Tigers did such a great job the first time they were shorthanded, killing off a two-man advantage. DuPont sending it right to a Tiger player, and Undershoot's going to, or Sauer rather, is going to come back and flip it down the ice. And Medicine Hat making a change, but Sauer hustling onto it as Plante takes him out. And we're going to get a penalty as Plante took him out. It's a hooking infraction, and in some ways this reminds me of the last time we were in here with all the penalties called here in the first period.
I don't think you can make a mistake in calling this one. You see the referee signal, now you'll see the infraction. Hook right there. Plante gets a stick up. Oh, I thought he released it in plenty of time there, but the check looks good unless it's right there. I saw it. He got a stick in his legs. A hook penalty took the Medicine Hat Tiger player to the ice, and we'll play 4-on-4. Some of the most exciting hockey. Plante in the box for hooking. Now you get a bunch of people with a whole lot more room to move on this ice, which, by the way, in Medicine Hat is a regulation size. You mentioned, Dan, the 155 consecutive sellouts. You know this building, this city here, has a 3,000 person waiting list.
That's terrific.
For tickets, season tickets. I mean, it's a hard ticket to get.
Well, ever since they changed the seats, remember they used to have the love seats in here?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Smarty color, they call them the Smarties box, I think. Now they got the beautiful individual green, but it's not as much fun to bring a date, they tell me.
You can't sit as tight?
Not as quite.
So why don't you just move over a little bit?
I'm just trying to. 7.5 minutes to go here in the first period. In this 4-on-4, Tigers coming out of their own zone. Jordan Benfeld, no further than the Calgary line. And DuPont has it now. Long pass for White. White plays it back now. Michael Stone. Now DuPont, very slowly in over the line. This 4-on-4 that was advertised by Bill as being very exciting
is very, very dull. In fact, it might be right now one of the dullest, slowest 4-on-4s I've seen all season long. Yuck, it's ugly.
Let's talk about the love seats a little more then.
Let's see what happens. Now we got some speed going through the neutral ice.
Well, of course, that's Chris Russell. He's going to do that most times. That puck is frozen as we send it down to Barry Strader.
Thanks very much, Dan. You know, the World Junior Hockey Championships are coming up at the end of the month in Sweden, and both the Tigers and the Hitmen could be very well represented at the event, especially the Hitmen. They could have as many as 5 players in the tournament representing countries both Canada and Sweden. I was talking to Dave Lowry, assistant coach of the Hitmen, earlier on tonight. He said, now, if any of those players do make it to the tournament, they would be sorely missed from the Hitmen lineup. However, he did say that it would be excellent for their development as individuals, and also it would reflect very well on the Hitmen organization, guys.
Yeah, when the calendar turns to December, as it's done just now, Bill, the World Juniors is on everybody's mind.
Yeah, what a team the last 2 years that Canada has fielded this one up over in Sweden. What a thrill to represent your country. A lot of these guys in this league have done so already with the World Under-18 tournament. In fact, they've won that. Canada's won that 9 of the last 10 years.
There's a great centering pass, and the goalie's run over as DeVell deflected it onto the goal, and Keatley was run over afterwards. Delayed penalty as Bosch brings it in over the line, and it's touched by Calgary, and we're going to have 4-on-3 because DeVell, well, he deflected it first and then said, well, if I'm not going to score, I'll just keep going into the goalie.
Well, you decide at home whether he could have put the brakes on. One of the things you want as a coach is somebody going to the net. Freddie Peterson will have that puck. He gets over the line. He's looking. He says, way over there, I got a guy going. Duval deflects it. Did he stop at time, or could he have absolutely thrown those brakes on a little sharper and a little quicker? Only that man right there knows whether he could have, but he's in the box because the referee said it was an interference call.
I think it's a good call.
Yeah, I do too. I thought he could have been maybe a little tighter in the stop.
Sometimes, though, the goalies do sell it a bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't think Keatley was particularly out as far as maybe we've seen it other times, but that was a good cross-ice pass by Freddie Peterson. Swedish Flash.
All right, there should be excitement here. 4-on-3 for another, well, 2 seconds, and then it'll be a 5-on-3. Let's see who wins the face-off first. Calgary does. That's a big face-off win because they get it outside to the center ice area. So now the 2-man advantage. It's poked in. Yo's going to win the race for the puck. Try to hammer it high and hard around, and he does. Russell could not hold it in at the right point. Now Schlemko starting back for Medicine Hat. Plant getting set to come back on, but Russell goes in hard. Now it's a 1-man advantage. Covington actually the first one out of the box. And he hustles over there to get the puck out. Covington, always a workhorse for Calgary. Now Sawney shorthanded. Russell high sticks him, and he's going to get a penalty. Well, everything's a penalty when we come to Medicine Hat. I've seen more penalties in this building this year than any other building.
Yeah, Chris Russell, you know, he is so good defensively, but this is what he has to be careful about. When you're giving up, you know, 30, 40 pounds in some cases, this is what happens. You know, he tries to challenge the puck carrier and then gets his stick way up in the face of the Calgary Hitmen. He stops the shot. He's really trying to play the body, make sure that he doesn't allow the player around, and he gets a stick up in his face, and it's 4-on-4 now.
Once
a dull 4-on-4 last time, we might add. Maybe it'll pick up now.
Just over 5 minutes to go here in the first period, as the Medicine Hat Tigers have the 1-goal lead on the power play at 4:56. That was a goal by Chris Stevens, a 20-year-old. Short-handed, though. Here's Dansereau, shot. Keatley's been real sharp here in the first period as he faces his 10th shot of the period.
Yeah, Matt Keatley, what a nice job he's done in here. Dan, he used to be backup, local kid, backup to the Kevin Nastiak, the goaltender, you know, and he's lifetime in 3 short years. He's 89, 23, 4 and 5, including playoffs. And Matt Keatley was last year's MVP of this team. He's a Calgary draft in the 5th round. But you know, Dan, in the games that have been played between these two teams, the Tigers have just got to get a better goaltending save percentage as a group on the 3 games. They've only been 85%, and that's not going to beat many teams in this league.
In fact, they've been outshot 105-76 Calgary has, so only the 76 shots on goal, but they've made the most of them.
Boy, that last game in Calgary, I saw that game. It was a 7-2 Calgary win. And I mean, sure, the Hitmen exploded in the 3rd period. Yeah, I think it was Yo was a +7 that night. And you can't imagine a defenseman being a +7 to that extent. Dylan Yo, that's a pretty good plus-minus in 1 game.
It's a good season.
Yeah, it's a good season for a lot of guys.
Elsner back for it, leaves it for White. 40 seconds to go in a Calgary penalty now. There's lots of overlapping. Here's DuPont's shot. Keatley makes the save. That's gobbled up nicely by Schlemko, who sends it the length of the ice.
You see the nice backhand pass Ryan White made going through center ice. That's something scouts look at all the time, is how well do you pass the puck on your backhand.
Now DuPont takes that pass. DuPont throws it in front, and it's directed just wide of the net by Letts. Stevens, long pass, misses Lowry, broken up by Alsner. DuPont hit hard here on the near boards by Benfeld. There's a centering pass that goes through the goal mouth area. Letts chasing it in the corner. Is the puck going to be frozen? Well, there's your answer. We'll get a face-off in Tiger territory.
Congratulations to the Western Hockey League. I don't know if this has ever happened where the Western Hockey League has got the top 3 ranked teams in the entire CHL. And congratulations to the Kamloops Blazers for being in that 8th spot now for a team that's struggled the last couple of years, actually missed the playoffs in that BC division last year. They also cracked the top 10 this ranking.
This time we'd like to welcome those watching now in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, just joining our broadcast in progress after a tremendous day in the Lower Mainland for the CKNW Orphans Fund Pledge Day. Just a terrific fundraising event every single year. It's a huge tradition in Vancouver, and so thanks to everybody who participated in that. It's been a long day for the Shaw staff there, but a great, great day. So welcome to all those now joining us in the Vancouver area. As we are late here in the first period, it's a 1-0 Medicine Hat lead. They got a power play goal at 4:56 of the first period. Big Central Division matchup. Medicine Hat with 48 points leading the way. They're red hot. Calgary 36 points, but they play this Tiger team very, very tough. Teams are at full strength. We had a lot of penalties here in the first period, not unlike when the Vancouver Giants were in here for our last Shaw visit 4 weeks ago, as the face-off will originate in Calgary territory.
Robert Figren's also a Swedish-born player that comes to the Calgary Hitmen, a New York Islander draft. You know, this kid here was watching the draft in his hometown, Sweden, all night long on his computer. He goes to the kitchen for just a minute to get a sandwich. He comes back. He's drafted during that time. He didn't even know it. He had to wait till his mother called him an hour later to congratulate him on being drafted. They got a good player. This kid can really fly.
Hope it was a good sandwich.
Imagine that. That's called a bad bounce.
Swiston gets the puck back to Russell. Over here to Brown with 2 minutes to go in the period. Pass goes to Trey Plante, though. Almost had his pass picked up. Pettersson starts back. His long pass onto Figren's stick. Figren throwing in front, back for Pettersson. Couldn't get there. Figren again throwing it in front. Goes back to Alsner. Alsner holding the puck in. Karam's off the backboards right to Keatley, who's going to hold on.
You know, when you play defense the way Chris Russell does by instinct, this is impressive. He breaks this play up. That's him 10 black, and just does such a good job to know that that pass is coming across ice. He gets the stick down and breaks the play up. That was good puck movement by the Hitmen up the ice, but Russell with that good idea where that pass is going to go, even though he's not big. He knew exactly where to put a stick to break it up.
Here comes Dorsett for the Tigers. He couldn't get a shot away. DuPont will start back the other way. He'll fire it in. White will give chase. Benfeld gets to it first, gives it away to Merkley. Merkley hit by Lowry. Merkley gets the puck back again. There's White trying to find DuPont in front. The 3 Tigers are there to break it up, and Dorsett backhands it out here to the neutral zone. 11-8 are the shots in favor of Calgary. And as you can see, we're just over a minute to go in the opening period. Stone over here to DuPont. Tigers making a change as DuPont flips it in. Schlemko gets to it first. Schlemko is from Edmonton. In his career, he is a +38. Bounces the puck to the Calgary line. Bosch being checked by Plante. Bosch from back of the net throws it in front. As he did, a penalty is being called here with 47 seconds to go. Interference, the back referee finding a penalty on Medicine Hat.
Dan, Brody Dupont, we talked about him being a key to this game. Watch how the Medicine Hat Tigers defend against him. This puck is going to come out from that spot to Dupont. He's 9 wide. Look at 3 Medicine Hat Tigers in the area. That pass had absolutely no chance to get through. And as you see in the penalty to the Medicine Hat Tigers, Colton Grant, an offensive zone penalty, 50 seconds left in this period.
And unofficially, we have Calgary going to their 5th power play, but here's a shorthanded chance by Helm, and a backhand goes over top the net. Covington for Calgary. He's hit by Helm, who's bouncing all over the ice. Darren Helm throws now a check on Plunt. There's Dansereau going in hard. Dansereau, checked by Russell. Alsner pokes it back to Dansereau. Back to Alsner. Here's Plunt, long shot, that's knocked down. Gobbled up there by Undershoot, he gets it out. Here's Sauer one-on-one with 8 seconds to go in the period. His shot hits Plunt, and that's probably going to do it for this period as Plunt from back of the net runs out of time. And you know, even with all the penalties, a pretty good first period of play, I thought.
It was, Dan, but you know, I thought the Tigers did a good job of, you know, Calgary came out with some scoring chances early, and then it seemed like I thought the Tigers did a pretty good job of limiting the real quality scoring chances, and we kind of expect that a little bit in your home rink here, a building that you've only lost 2 games in. Defensively, I thought Tigers got to be very happy with that period.
Yeah, and Calgary had a real good start here. In the first 2 or 3 minutes, they were all over Medicine Hat. They had the first 5 shots on goal, and Keatley had to make some real big saves, but they get themselves in penalty trouble, and then the Stevens goal. You know, we mentioned right off the top, Calgary having a 10-game homestand after this game. Boy, that's a long time to be at home.
I've never heard of a homestand that long, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's just a quirk in the scheduling or if somewhere later on they probably have to get out of their building, and that's why they've got to play all of these games at home at this point. They're a good team. You know, Calgary on home ice is 10 wins, 4 losses, so they definitely are solid at home. Saddle Dome's been a tough place for a lot of teams to play.
In fact, after this game tonight, the next road game for Calgary is on January the 6th. And the visitors, we mentioned Medicine Hat will be in Calgary tomorrow, but Saskatoon, Regina, Prince George, Chilliwack, Kelowna, Brandon, Prince Albert, and Lethbridge. So
lots of tickets available. Lots of tickets available. We know that Calgary's one of the top drawing teams in the WHL, and they're a fun team to watch.
All right, let's go downstairs. Here's Barry Strader.
Thanks very much, Dan. I'm with Tyler Swiston of the Medicine Hat Tigers. Tyler, interesting first period there. You had to kill off a 5-on-3. Otherwise, it was pretty close out there.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, I mean, we're out there playing good hockey. I mean, it's kind of tough, though. I mean, we've taken a couple more penalties when we wanted to, and we haven't really done as much on our power play as we want. I mean, we got our power play goal. I mean, we're happy with that, but we really got to strive to do more through the next 2 periods.
You're in first place in the division. You've had your way with most teams in the league, but the Calgary Hitmen have been pretty tough on you this year.
Oh, geez, they certainly are. I mean, I think it's been a bit of a surprise. I mean, we've maybe underestimated them a little, and I mean, they've really taken it to us throughout, all the games we've played against them. So it's really important we come out the rest of the night and, really give it our all, and we really got something to prove here tonight and, tomorrow back in Calgary. But for now, we really got to focus on tonight.
You played last year with the University of Michigan, NCAA Division I, moving over to the Western Hockey League. Why did you make that choice?
Last year was real tough playing with and against, a lot of older guys. Mid-20s, low 20s. It was tough kind of being away from home and the whole, college atmosphere kind of thing. So, it was kind of nice to, get back to home here and, play some good quality hockey where, I know I'm going to play more. Last year it was a struggle to get on the ice, and, I'm happy where I'm at, and it's great to play for the Medicine Hat.
Well, welcome back to Alberta, and good luck in the second period.
Hey, thank you very much.
Tyler Swiston, who's a native of Cochrane, Alberta, and now we'll head back to Dan Elliott. Dan?
All right, thanks a lot there, Barry. Coming up in between periods, we take a look at Medicine Hat's untamed Tiger, Derek Dorsett, plus Hitmen color commentator Ken Thrower will be here to go inside the WHL. And as usual, Dan and Bill will be back to give their highlights and analysis from the first 20 minutes of play. Don't go anywhere. That's all coming up next right here on Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw.
Flight Center sells more than just cheap airline tickets. We also have a huge selection of cruises to choose from. Come into any of our 130 shops across Canada or call 1-877-WORLD-05. And remember, we guarantee to beat any available airfare.
Petland. Pets make life better.
You've never seen anything like it. Then you see nothing else. The Infiniti FX. Only at Hyatt Infinity in the Calgary Auto Mall.
Even if you have some pain, the best treatment for most back injuries is progressive activity. The sooner you get moving, the sooner you'll feel better.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
Welcome to a live broadcast of A Prairie Home Companion.
From director Robert Altman and Garrison Keillor.
This isn't really going to be your last show, is it?
The end of the show is only the beginning of the story.
Every show's your last show. That's my philosophy.
Thank you, Plato.
Woody Harrelson, Tommy Lee Jones, Garrison Keillor, Kevin Kline, Lindsay Lohan, Virginia Madsen, John C. Reilly, Maya Rudolph, Meryl Streep, and Lily Tomlin.
Welcome back to the arena in Medicine Hat after one period of play. It is the Tigers leading the Calgary Hitmen 1-0. Chris Stevens with the lone goal on the night so far. His 13th of the season coming on the power play. Now, third on the team in scoring, Derek Dorsett is a big offensive producer for the Tigers this season. However, his biggest asset may not be putting points on the board, but rather getting and using his physical play to get under the skin of opposing teams. He's the type of player that when he gets out there, he can throw his body around or drop the gloves. It doesn't matter, despite him being only 5'11" and 178 pounds. With more on Derek Dorsett, here's Nicole Wackler.
He's the kind of guy that everyone wants on their team, but nobody wants to go up against.
You know, when you really notice how good Dorsett is, it's when he's out of the lineup. Most guys, you don't think about him that much when they're out, but you do notice Dorsett when he's out. He brings a lot to the game. He plays hard. He's a real character guy, and he brings a lot of energy. So he's the type of guy every team needs.
Despite leading the dub last year in penalty minutes, Derek Dorsett insists he's no tough guy.
I don't think the tough guy role is my I guess my main role on the team. I think it's just one of the roles that I bring to the team. It's I think my role is just bringing the team, energy and some offense and solid defense, just an all-around game.
And versatility these days is no doubt an asset when it comes to the new NHL, something number 15 is hoping to capitalize on.
With just the speed and the character play, I mean, that's what the NHL teams are looking for, is character guys that will do it all. And I think I can do a lot of things that, can maybe get me to that level.
Drafted just this year by the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Kindersley, Saskatchewan native had the opportunity this past summer to spend time at training camp alongside fellow Tiger Chris Russell.
It's every kid's dream to, see the heroes in the hockey world, and seeing guys like Rick Nash and Sergei Fedorov, seeing what it takes for those guys, seeing what those guys do to play at that level, and it was just a great experience for me, and I'm looking forward to it next year again too.
And although he is only in his third season with the Tigers, this will be the last for the fan favorite. But before he leaves, the assistant captain, one of three, has a few goals in mind.
My personal goal is to sign a pro contract, and that's almost everyone's goal that's playing at this level. It's like I said before, it's every kid's dream to play pro, and my biggest goal though is to win the Memorial Cup.
And for all the fans of the orange and black, he mustn't forget to add just a few more minutes to the 100 already accumulated this year. Nicole Wackler, Shaw TV, Medicine Hat.
All right, thanks, Nicole. Stick around after the break. Ken Thrower will be here to go inside the WHL. We'll talk about the big trade that happened yesterday between Vancouver and Moose Jaw, so don't go anywhere. This is Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw.
Whichever your preference, with so many downtown spots to shop at, you're sure to find something to please everyone, even yourself. Find your D-Spot.
This moment brought to you by Harmony Airways.
The City of Calgary Recreation offers a variety of affordable pass options for you and your family. Visit any of our aquatics and fitness centers or Southland and Village Square leisure centers for all of your fun and fitness needs. Call 311 or visit www.calgary.ca/recreation.
Crowfoot Saturn Soft, Crowfoot Center Northwest.
The Medicine Hat Lodge is Southern Alberta's only 4-star resort and entertainment complex. Enjoy executive guest rooms and suites, cozy restaurants and lounges, a giant indoor water slide park, full-service casino, luxury spa, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more.
Introducing the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's you, only better. Northland Volkswagen, Canada's largest volume dealer. No one sells for less. Corner of Crowchild Trail at Northland Drive Northwest. Drivers wanted.
Armageddon, the final conclusive battle between the forces of good and evil. Armageddon, the resolution of power, dominance, and supremacy. Armageddon. It's where the end is only the beginning. Live Sunday, December 17th, only on pay-per-view.
Well, welcome back to Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw. After one period of play, it is the Medicine Hat Tigers leading the Calgary Hitmen 1-0 despite being outshot 11-8. Now, with the Vancouver Giants making noise yesterday when they acquired forward Kendall McCardle from the Moose Jaw Warriors for Jason Reese and a second-round pick. A big deal for the Giants, who, of course, will be hosting the Memorial Cup later this year. With more on the trade, here's our own Kristen Reed with Giants GM Scott Bonner.
I know that there's been a lot of speculation about this deal the last little while. How are you able to get this done and get Kendall McCardle to town?
We had to give up one of our better 18-year-old players who will be in the league for a couple of years, but we felt, knowing that we're already going to be in the Memorial Cup, it was paramount for us to get a high-end goal scorer to replace guys like Mitch Bartley and Joe Bear from the past.
Is this something that you've had in the back of your head all season long, since the Blue Jackets made it quite clear that Brule would not be returning this year?
Yeah, we met early in the year and felt there were 3 guys in the league that would fit the bill, and he was one of the top guys because he's a local boy, and so we worked on it for about a month, and we were lucky to get it done last night.
All right, Ken Thrower now here, Hitmen color commentator here to join me to go inside the WHL. Great to have you back, Ken. I haven't seen you since last year's playoffs.
Yeah, it's good to be back, and I've redid my hair since last year.
It still looks sharp.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Well, we're going to start with that right there. We got Kendall McCardle making the move to Vancouver. There's a lot of speculation about where he would go. What do you think this move means to the Giants?
Well, I think it's a good move for the Giants, absolutely. You've got a guy, 19-year-old. I mean, this guy can put the puck in the net. He's from that area, Vancouver area. I think it's a really good fit, and I think the big surprise that it happened so soon. Everyone thought it'd maybe go a little more closer to the deadline, but it went right away. And I think, really, when you think about it, it's a pretty good trade going both ways. You got a young guy going the other way, 18 years old. There's a lot of upside to him. I mean, this guy could put the puck in the net. So when you look at it, maybe my sense is that it's a good trade going both ways right now.
Well, I guess there's some speculation that McCardle could be with the World Junior team, so he could be lost for a month. But in a situation like this, obviously Medicine Hat, Calgary, both contenders. Do you think we'll see moves from them here as it comes about a month away from the trading deadline?
Well, it's a good question. There's been talk about the Tigers and their chemistry, and that's a big thing when you're making trades, chemistry, right? You and I have talked a bit about that during the break, and that's a key thing. And, you want to make a trade, and there's some good players out there, but you want to make sure it's a good match for your team and keep the chemistry. And if you're rolling really good along, you want to keep that going. And so it's very difficult.
Well, it'll be interesting to see as we head down the stretch here towards that trading deadline in the middle of January. But moving on, Ken, I want to talk about a guy who plays with Hitmen, a guy you get to see a lot, and that's Dan Spence, the goaltender for them. Obviously, a lot of pressure this year coming in, replacing Justin Pogge, Mr. Everything, Mr. All-World.
Yes.
And you know what? Dan's been unbelievable. Maybe just talk about how big an asset he's been this year.
Well, I'll tell you, this guy has superseded all the expectations, and I'll be the first to admit I thought, it's a bit of a question mark. and he has been playing fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I think the reason that the Hitmen are in this situation, a lot has to do with it. Earlier on, I kind of rated the team, give them grades, and I give Dan Spence an A for being the most consistent guy on the Calgary Hitmen team, and he's really shown that, done a great job. And I mean, most nights he stands on his head, and tonight he's doing another great job out here, and he's a vastly improved guy. And basically all it took was, I guess now in hindsight, give me a chance, let me start, and I can show you what I can do.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of goalies around the league who would love the same chance that he's got.
Well, yeah, and it's tough being a back. If you sit on the bench, you watch Justin Pogge, I mean, kind of dismal. Who wants to sit there? You learn from Pogge, you learn from what he does, but you want to get in the game. You want to be able to play, and, you know, Spence got his chance, and he's made very well of it.
All right, I want to talk to you about one other Calgary Hitman. The Central Scouting released their WHL preliminary rankings for the upcoming draft. A lot of defensemen in that. It's led by Keaton Ellerby, the big defenseman from Kamloops. One of the guys in there is Carl Alsner for Calgary. He was a little higher before the season, but he's a big guy and a big part of this Calgary Hitman team.
He is. He's real steady out there, and I think maybe some people think he should do more than what he's doing, but he's really another steady Eddie guy on there, and I kind of give him an A also for a grade. He does a lot of things really well, and he's a real big part of this team, of course. Plays the power play, penalty killing out there, and when he decides to turn it up some games, he can dominate at times. He's a big guy, and at times he looks like a man in a, you know, in a kid's game sometimes. So he's got a big upside, and you know, those ratings they may change, and I think he might go a little higher than what he's showing, because I know there's a lot of teams coming in to watch him. And he's definitely a big-time asset to the Calgary Hitmen.
Yeah, well, we know as the season goes along, those ratings go up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really matter. Well, Ken, I appreciate you taking the time once again to join us. It's all the time we have. Now's the time we got to go head back upstairs and hear from Dan and Bill and get their thoughts on the first 20 minutes of play. Guys?
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Ken. And, wow, just before we look at the first 20 minutes, a quick thought on McArdle going to Vancouver, because that was a huge move in the Western League this year, or this week.
Kendall McArdle's eyes get about that big when he's around the net. Is he going to score you beautiful goals, coast to coast, great plays off, great plays off dekes and stuff? No. But what he's going to do is he's going to bury pucks around the net, and Vancouver needed that.
So last year, Vancouver prevented him from being in the Memorial Cup. This year, he has a chance to play with Vancouver in the Memorial Cup. Okay, let's turn our attention to the first period just completed. And though Medicine Hat had the first goal, I thought all the early chances were Calgary's.
They were. I mean, Calgary's done this even on their U.S. road trip. I saw them in Tri-Cities. They came out and absolutely stormed the opposing net. But then, you know, they got put back on their heels a little bit. Matt Keatley had to make some good saves for them, too. And, you know, when we show you the saves he makes, I want you to watch 15, the kid that they interviewed earlier, Derek Dorsett. When you want a 20-year-old, he's got to play good defensive. This is what I'm talking about. Watch the saves Keatley makes, and I'm also going to show you the good plays Derek Dorsett makes in checking. That's him with the puck there. You watch in front of the net. This is a save. When you see 15, take his man to the ice like he does there. That's a pretty good job. Now, there's it again.
On the rebound,
and again, you have to have your goaltender make those kind of saves. This is another good save by Keatley right there. Look how quickly he's up in good position there. That's a big man on his knees and up, and that's the key, Dad. You play a butterfly, you got to do that. Now, this is Dorsett over there. He's going to one-time this play right there. A lot of attention paid in front of the net to Matt Lowry, and that allows Chris Stevens to jump in and get that puck into the net. You watch this play of the one-timer, you see in front of the net, there's the attention right there. Nobody covering Chris Stevens, the goaltender, or the goal scorer rather, and he makes it 1-0 Tigers.
So let's look at the summary. Stevens, who's from Dawson Creek, British Columbia, 20-year-old, scoring his 13th of the season on the power play at .456. Calgary out shooting Medicine Hat 11-8. And we're getting ready for the second period. The Tigers won, the Hitmen nothing. This is the Western Hockey League. Ooh, that looks good. On Shaw.
This moment brought to you by Harmony Airways.
For the largest and finest selection of quality used cars and trucks to be found anywhere on Vancouver Island, you only need to go to one place, our place, Tom Harris Chevrolet Cadillac, Nanaimo. Tom Harris Chevrolet Cadillac.
Investments made easy. Saskatoon Credit Union.
Now playing on Shaw Video on Demand.
Your son, son of the devil.
The house, the deal, the team. We can help you get through the complex process of buying or selling a home. Our dynamic team is designed for one purpose, to get you the best deal. The EricHolmes.com real estate team. When service counts, count on us.
Welcome back to the Medicine Hat Arena. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms and the Western Hockey League crew. We've got Barry Strader here, Dan Elliott from Hockey Central. Hope you're enjoying our Friday night action on Shaw. A great Central Division battle here. Calgary and Medicine Hat as we start this period. Hitmen on the power play with fresh ice for a minute, trailing 1-0, but they go offside at the blue line.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
He's a tough guy. Derek Dorsett can throw him. It was funny that he didn't like to consider himself as one of the tougher guys, but over 200 penalty minutes last year, and this is a 20-year-old that can score as well. He was in the face-off circle there for the Tigers.
487 career penalty minutes for Dorsett. Alsner chased back by Sauer. Nice pass on the tape for DuPont. Here he comes. DuPont trying to get a little room, drops it back for Plante. Plante now to Alsner. Alsner to White. White has his head up, plays it back to Alsner, who fans on his shot, but not lucky little bounce there. Went right to Plante, but now a bad bounce as it goes off the Medicine Hat player and down the ice.
One of the most frustrating things that happen when you're on the power play is you get that puck in deep, you make a pass or two, you get a shot, and it doesn't even get on the net. And you got to go all the way back down and get his puck back.
Here's Yo cutting right in. A goal shot, a great save there by Keatley as he stops White. Now from the line, a shot, they score! It's all tied at 1-1 as Stone hammers it in from the blue line. Power play goal as Calgary ties it early here in the second period.
Dan, any coach will tell you if you could follow a good play up with another good play and even a better play, you're a very, very good hockey team. This is Stone. This is a shot on the net. And, you know, that was a big save right there by Keatley. But the Hitmen don't quit. Get that puck back. Have your defenseman move in to the top of the face-off circle and blast it. You get back on the board. That is just two very solid efforts back-to-back by the Hitmen.
Well, they're announcing Yo. Oh, we'll have to check. Did that hit Yo on the way? And if so, how? But right now they've given it to Yo from Stone and Fegren, the second assist at 1:05, although we're having trouble picking up the announcements here. But I think I heard Yo getting the goal. And if it's Dylan Yo's goal, it's his fifth. And if it's Stone, it's his second. The Hitmen right now aren't too concerned as to who gets it. They're just happy to have one on the board. Russell will start back the other way. Russell going right coast to coast, and he scores! How's that for answering back? A coast-to-coast rush by Chris Russell. It's 2-1 Tigers.
Keegan Danzero starts out even with them just inside the Medicine Hat blue line, but all he could do was wave his stick at him. He ends up taking that right side, and as a left-hand shot, he's able to cradle that puck into a position there that gives him the most room to shoot it. Talked about him right at the top of the show. Chris Russell, his 16th goal of the season. Unbelievable play. What a sense of offense that man has with a puck on his stick. Dan, the good scorers like Russell, they feel the puck on their stick.
Well, I'll tell you what kind of goal it was. The save that Keatley made gave the only assist to him. Russell from the goalie, Keatley. And now Covington runs his man Dorsett over, and here come the Hitmen 2-on-2. Dancero with Sawney. Dancero throws it in front. Keatley turns it aside. And now it's flipped out of play. Will that be a penalty? I think it's going to be a penalty on Medicine Hat. The linesman is telling the referee that he flipped it right out of play. And the referee is saying, well, was it? They're actually having a bit of a debate about it, the linesman and the referee. And the linesman is going to win that debate. That puck was flipped out of play.
You know, you back check, and you're the energizer buddy like Steve Covington. Watch that hit Covington puts on the Medicine Hat Tiger. Covington is known for one thing, and that is he's got his feet going all the time, and he will really, really do a nice job checking. Doesn't get much better than that. Chris Stevens in the box for the Medicine Hat Tigers. You certainly can hear what the fans think about that.
He flipped it out of play. The linesman calling it. And now Calgary with their 6th power play. They're 1 for 5 with the man advantage. And the fans boo again as they announce the delay of game penalty. And the Hitmen get the puck out of the scrum. Plante had to go off his skate. Here's a shorthanded chance. It's Helm cutting it on goal. Helm couldn't get a shot away as he was checked by Alsner. Good back check there by Alsner. His Helm looked like he had a breakaway. He never got a shot on goal. Lots of action here in the early stages of the second period. Helm now all the way back in his own zone. He might be tired. Maybe that's why he stripped to the puck there. Penfeld also checked. Here's Bosch centering pass. Shot by Stone, and that's a high shot. Blocked. And now it's held in by Yo. His shot high. Another chance at the side of the net. DuPont now to White. White trying to get it for Merkley. Merkley, number 21, trying to dig it out of skates. DuPont does, but he's stick checked. White to Stone. Stone to Yo. Yo, wrist shot, save, Keatley, rebound, bouncing around, and the Tigers jump on it, shoot it off the glass and down the ice. Yo back to get it. I'm still going back to that Calgary goal. You think Yo touched it in front of the net?
Well, I don't know what Yo was doing in front of the net. I really lost track of him. It was a nice shot from Stone at the point. They may change that.
Here's Fegren. Well, look at these moves. He's tripped, but he got a shot away. And a blocked shot. That was a thing of beauty watching Fegren dart from the boards right into the slot area.
So many European players are so good going east to west. You know, the North American game is often north-south. That was Fegren with a nice job of coming off the wall into the slot. He fell by himself.
Delayed offside over there will blow play down, and with 15 minutes, 17 seconds to go in the period, we'll get the teams back at full strength.
One of the things you look at in drafting possible players in Alsner, how well can he skate? Well, let's find out. Derek Helm is one of the fastest skaters on this Medicine Hat Tiger team. There's a foot race. That's Helm. There comes Alsner. And he makes it look easy coming back and forcing Helm into a bad position. Helm does a lot of work back there, but it's all for naught. That puck never ended up on the net because it was a great job of Alsner. Let's see if that goal was tipped, Dan. This is a shot after a real good play inside the Medicine Hat zone by the Hitmen. And we'll have to look in front of net. There's the shot. Keep your eye on his 5 Yo anywhere around the front of the net.
Right
5.
There. Yep, that's it.
Dylan Yo, that's a good call.
Yeah, because we're not used to seeing him right there. That's why the goal call seems strange. That's a good replay. And right after that, Russell goes end to end to restore the Tiger lead. It took just 51 seconds for Medicine Hat to go back up again. Tigers making a change. Hitmen out of their own zone, led by Plouffe. He shot it down the ice, should be icing, it is.
Riley Merkley, solid performer for this Calgary Hitmen. He knows and recognizes the difference that Matt Keatley makes. Here's what he said about the difference that Keatley makes to this hockey club in Medicine Hat.
Obviously, he makes big saves, and just like any goalie that can make some game-breaking saves, you know, they come down the other way and put it in the net. You know, that could be the turn of the tide in the game. So I think we got to get a lot of traffic on him and get a lot of pucks to the net, and I think we'll be fine.
Now Schlemko's long shot, that's turned aside by Spence, the Calgary goaltender. Dan Spence from Langley, British Columbia. All his family have been digging out of snow this week.
And how fortunate was your partner in crime here to avoid all that
Yeah,
snow?
Fortunate or typical?
Both.
It's uncanny. I've worked with Bill for many years. He always plans a golf trip, and I plan for snow. He goes out of town, and I get the snow shovel out.
We talked about Matt Keatley. You know, after the Flames camp, he showed up at 189 pounds here in Medicine Hat compared to the 225 the same time last year. Now that's a serious commitment to getting in shape, isn't it? 6'2", obviously he fills the net a whole lot more at that size, and he's very, very agile.
6-2, also the number of games he played last year. 62 starts, 42 wins. As we talked about earlier, Flames draft pick, local kid. There's Helm. And we're going to get a face-off from outside the blue line.
Helm, 10 goals 2 years ago, 41 last year, and he's sitting on 9 so far this year. Helm of Detroit Red Wing draft. Boy, can he fly.
One of many Manitoba boys in this game. It's him with the puck right now. Lead pass for Undershoot. Undershoot will take a high shot, and that's handled by Dan Spence.
Medicine Hat brings a lot of class to this Central Division standings that you're going to see right there. I talked about that earlier. Hey, the Calgary Hitmen, you see those 36 points, folks? That would be first or second in every division in the Western Hockey League. That's how tight that Central Division is.
And those two teams highlighted, both of them, the most they've lost in a row this year is 2 games. They don't get into any slumps. It's going to be very interesting this year, the Memorial Cup in Vancouver, but we know the Giants are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of battlings to see who else represents the West in the great national tournament. Here comes Sauer and over the line. His shot, arm saved by Spence. Rolls around here to the boards. Merkley up for White. Nice breakout to Dupont. Here he comes. Dupont is by himself. He's waiting for somebody to join him. He has to flip it back at the Tiger net. White goes in there to throw a check. Grant gets it on the wraparound, and the Tigers flip it in from center. 12.5 minutes to go in the second period of play. Yo is being pinned up back of the net by Scott Wasden. Hasn't played too much tonight. Now the puck goes to Fegrin and over the line. Shot sails wide of the Tiger goal. Pettersson couldn't reach it. Dorsett does, up for Stevens. He's poke checked at the line there, and Calgary quickly in transition also are poke checked at the line. They'll this time decide to flip it in instead as Pettersson got it in deep. Benfeld back of the net, over here to Glass. Trevor Glass from Cochrane, Alberta. Getting his way to center as he flips it in and then heads to the bench on a line change. Fegrin on the far boards for Calgary. Long pass for his friend Pettersson, didn't click. Broken up nicely, and the Hitmen from deep in their own zone will try again.
And this is just a terrific job that the Tigers are doing defensively. Very, very solid commitment to protect that puck. Look at that little breakout play right there. That's a backhand pass. That's why that puck is where it's at now.
Calgary only 3 shots so far in this period. They registered 11 in the first period.
Spence's 2.45 goals against average is 8th in the WHL. His 91.7 is 4th in the save percentage. But you know what? He's played more minutes than any other goaltender in the league. He's faced more shots than any goaltender in the WHL. In fact, he's played, as we said earlier, all 3 starts against this Medicine Hat Tiger team. And 97 of 104 saves against the Tigers. That's a 93.2 save percentage. And I think to beat Medicine Hat, you got to have that kind of save percentage to give your team a chance.
Yeah, both these teams with good goaltending. Combined, they have 7 shutouts this year. Won't be one here tonight, but we've seen some great goaltending already in this hockey game. Helm, no further than center. Dancero on transition with one hand on the stick, couldn't get it. And so the Tigers send it in deep. Spence gets it a punt. We got a whistle behind the play, and I'm not sure we're getting penalties or not. Looks like roughing penalty. Swiston involved at the blue line, well away from the puck.
We saw an interview earlier with Tyler Swiston. Dan, he talked about playing against older guys, and for all you guys out there that are looking at scholarships in the U.S., you know, I played there, I coached there, but I got to tell you something. There's a lot of 20-year-olds that go to U.S. scholarships in the U.S. Now, that's 20 to 24. And when Tyler Swiston, who's seen involved in that altercation there, when he talked about playing at Michigan and playing against older guys, if you go down as a 17-year-old, yeah, you may play against a kid 24, a guy 24 years old. I think that's too much to give away. 7 years is an awful lot, and that's why Swiston has made that choice to come back and play in the Western Hockey League. So you kids think about that. You're going to run into a lot of older guys in that U.S. college.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. You don't hear that talked about too much. As the puck is iced in this 4-on-4 situation, we'll get a face-off back in Calgary territory. Calgary on the road this year, 7 wins, 6 losses, 0-2. Tigers at home, 9-2, 2-2. And against the Central, the Hitmen are 8-6. The Tigers are 4-3-1. Those divisional games always
so important.
Yeah. Alsner rolling it in, giving chase back of the Tiger goal with Dupont on the 4-on-4 situation. White covering up for Alsner at the back as he went in deep. White dropped back to a defensive position, at least for a moment. Now he gets a puck in the slot on a giveaway and a shot. Blocked, rebound off the side of the net. So White handed the puck in a good scoring position. Almost tied the hockey game. It was all the way back into Calgary territory. Schlemko gets the puck back. Schlemko starts back for the Tigers. Here's Dorsett quickly and over the line. Dorsett shot, that goes wide. Yo plays it over there for Pedersen. He gets a lot of room to move the puck. Dishes it off, but the pass is a poor one, and it comes back to Glass.
Dan, what it looks like to me is when the Hitmen get some room
hang on a second. Dorsett taking a shot, just went wide.
The Tigers close up that space very nicely, very quickly. They get a room initially, the Hitmen, but boy, there isn't much room after. And then you win those battles like that along the boards, that's the whole secret to your success.
And the play is stopped on an icing. We're going to take a break. 9:09 to go, second period. It's the Tigers 2, the Hitmen 1. You're watching the WHL on Shaw.
Okay, guys, pick whatever you want. Okay, guys, pick whatever you want.
It's not wrong if you're in the right place. Boston Pizza. You're among friends.
All Strauss products on sale until December 9th at participating health product retailers across Canada.
At Myers Norris Penny, we support the teams of the WHL. Like you, we live in the West and believe in its potential. We also share a passion for the game.
I wish I lived closer to the office. Not this close.
This one's only a 10-minute commute.
Find your perfect place with RE/MAX. View homes like never before with Google Earth on remax.ca.
Colton Grant here passes to the wrong guy, but boy, is he saved by Chris Russell, his defensive partner. This pass is a bad one. Watch Russell there. He sprawls out, makes sure that that puck doesn't go anywhere, and Ryan White doesn't have a whole lot of chance to make anything out of that turnover. Good job by Ryan White. Now there's another breakout. Boy, I tell you, the Tigers are doing a good job. If the Hitmen don't get sustained pressure inside the Medicine Hat zone, this is going to certainly turn out not very good for them.
Teams are back at full strength. The 4-on-4 situation is over. Here's Pedersen, stripped of the puck momentarily by Helm. And now it's Calgary's Plant sending it to the line, but not out. Helm off the corner boards, trying to work his way in front. Still Helm with the puck. Still Helm with it. Dishes it off, and his shot is just poked wide. That was a good play there by Helm, and he's all over the puck again. He'll try his luck from this side. Now to Undershoot. Undershoot. Good pressure here to Isherwood. Helm can't reach it back to the net. Begren tries to backhand it out, could not. Isherwood holding it in. Goes back of the net. Alsner has it for Calgary. Now Plante. That's broken up too. Here's a Medicine Hat chance. And a centering pass in front for Ennis, and he just failed to connect. That was the best chance. They've had the puck down here a lot. Not a lot of chances, but just territorial domination right now by the Tigers.
Dan, it all started with that play by Darren Helm. Helm did a great job earlier in making sure that they maintained possession.
And they're almost rewarded there as Ennis just pokes it wide of the net. The Tigers continue to mount the pressure. Hitmen just can't get it out. Comes back to Benfeld. Throws it in front. Spence holds on with his glove. It was either going to be that or icing, but Spence just said, no way, I'm just holding on.
This is what started the play inside the Calgary Hitmen zone. When Helm has this much room with the puck, protects it so well there, nobody could pick him up in that corner. He's got his head up, he's looking, and then he makes this pass right across the ice there. But it ends up, that puck never got out of the zone until this shot here. Finally, the puck is saved by the goaltender and a face-off to the right in the Calgary zone. But, you know, that puck possession is so important in the offensive zone, and Helm, one of the best at doing that.
Still the Tigers leading 2-1. Go-ahead goal by Chris Russell here in the second period. After Calgary tied it very early, Russell answered right back.
Look at that checking by Medicine Hat. They force you to dump it in like that, and that barely avoided icing.
I mean, it's no mystery why they haven't lost a game since we were last in here.
Man, oh man.
Currently in a stretch where they're playing 9 of 11 on home ice, and they're dominating here in the Medicine Hat Arena. Not so much tonight, but on their record at home. And they're dominating the last 5 minutes of this hockey game as it's just been in the Calgary zone nearly the whole time.
Well, you know, the shots on goal are 16-14 for Calgary, but I'd say the chances are so much, you know, more in Medicine Hat's favor. I think Spence has been very good in goal for Calgary.
Funny how the shot clock can sometimes be so misleading. Russell doesn't know where it is, back of the net. White jumps on it. White off the boards, trying to maintain possession. Dorsett checking him. Now Yo at the line. His shot is tipped off the target. White got a stick on it. Stone, his shot knocked down. And it's Medicine Hat's Lowry. He flips it in, heads after it. So does Stevens. Stevens. Dorsett throwing a check. Merkley, like you say, not much room. As soon as the Hitmen get the puck.
Yeah, there's somebody there, isn't there?
Unless they're making a line change, which they're doing right now.
If you think of the game of hockey as gap control all over the ice, this Medicine Hat Tiger team's doing a pretty good job of this. I mean, the Calgary's, you know, benefit and respect, they're in this hockey game still. They're just one goal away.
Oh, yes.
They just got to generate a little bit more offense. These individual rushes up the ice and turning the puck over like this, you know, even though you're going on a line change, they're not going to get the job done.
Swiston having a little trouble maintaining his balance. Now here's Undershoot. Alsner from back of the goal. Hitman will try this side. Covington checked by Glass. Nothing doing there. Again, the Hitmen, all they could do is just a battle to get it out, and they just roll it to the neutral zone. And we see this often in the Western Hockey League. We see teams that all they could do to get the puck out and make a line change again. I mean, it's a victory to get the center when you go through a stretch like this, just to get to the bench and get some fresh troops out. Meantime, Ennis will put it in deep again. And while they're doing that, the Tigers are making a change.
Yeah, keep their feet moving. And then you see Tigers right now, they're all of them right now between the blue lines. How tough is it to get through that area?
And then it throws it offside if you try to keep going through.
You know, a big trade, we talked about that earlier in our broadcast. McCardle going to Vancouver for Jason Reese. Coach Willie Desjardins was asked, how does he feel about his team making trades the rest of this season?
He does And I don't think it really does. I think you can't worry what other teams do. You have to worry about your own team, and you have to evaluate your own team. So there's things you're always looking to improve if you can improve your team. But the league doesn't end after 1 year. There's always more than 1 year, so you always have to be worried about the future as well. So I think it was I think it was a good trade for those two teams, and if we find something that we can improve our team on, we'd certainly do it. But we're certainly happy with the guys we have in our lineup now.
Well, I'd be happy too if I was Coach Willie Desjardins. By the way, as he had success in hockey, Willie Desjardins has done such a good job at the international level. He's coached in Japan. He's coached at the university level. He's coached in the CHL, in the Canadian national program, and it's unbelievable. 20 years of coaching, Dan. His teams have missed the playoffs only one time. He's taken his team, get this, to league finals 12 times in his career.
And of course, he and Don Hay were the coaches the last two nights in the WHL ADT Challenge with the Russians, which were won handedly by the WHL both games. Russians did not win a game here in Canada. Left-hand pass stopping the play in the neutral zone. 3:45 to go in the second period. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms at the Medicine Hat Arena. And if you're just joining us, we did mention this earlier. It's the first of a home-and-home between these two teams. They'll meet tomorrow at the Saddle Dome as Calgary opens a 10-game homestand.
Yeah, there's a guy, folks, right there that drives the motor of this team. Last year in the playoffs, 8 goals in 13 games played for Derek Dorsett. Yeah, this is great entertainment. These two teams battle tooth and nail all the time, and Calgary going to be happy to get home. And yeah, we say you can see this again tomorrow night.
By the way, Dorsett, a draft pick of Columbus, his team also in Alberta, playing the Flames, as the faceoff goes all the way back into Medicine Hat Tiger territory.
By the way, congratulations too to the Hitmen. Barry Brust last night, playing in the National Hockey League for the LA Kings, is the 20th Calgary Hitman to play in the NHL. And I think that's a nice accomplishment. Mark Crawford, LA Kings, former Vancouver Giant coach, not having a lot of success down there. What was goaltender Kluche pulled last night after 3 shots? 4 shots?
4 shots. 3 goals on 4 shots.
Yikes. Look at another face-off win there by the Tigers. Teams come out of their zone in this situation at will, but what happens between those blue lines there, that's another story.
Swiston tries to chop it in. He's checked by Merkley. Dupont trying to dig it out with his skates and his stick. Does just that. Plays it over here for Stone. Drops it back for Alsner with 3 minutes to go in the period. Dupont to White. White shot handled right in the midsection there by Keatley, and he holds on.
Brody Dupont, his playoff losses, Dan, listen to this. In Tier 2, he lost in Game 7, Round 2. 2 years ago, he lost in Calgary, Game 7, Round 2. Last year, Game 7, Round 2 against Moose Jaw. Brody Dupont wants to get past Round 2 in the playoffs. And I think maybe this is a year.
You know what the secret is? Don't go 7.
Yeah, there you go.
So easy.
I love Dupont.
Oh, what a player he is.
I remember he used to be a lot of trade talk last year and even the year before about Dupont and White. Now, nobody has the guts to even make that suggestion. They'd look at you like you were absolutely nuts.
Well, I like this Calgary team a lot. We've seen them quite a few times in the last few weeks. We know it's a tough division they're playing in, and I don't think you can call them a sleeper, but they're just a little bit off the radar with all the other teams. And I think, and again, interesting to see what kind of moves they're going to make in the next 6 weeks, if at all.
Yeah, it's always trade deadline is an interesting part of the season. We've talked about that many times. A lot of teams kind of load up for big runs, and a lot of teams kind of dump players to build for the future.
There's Letch putting one wide. Battle over there on the far side. Now from the line, a long shot. That's knocked down. That shot was taken by Hengen. Ennis flips it in. Giving chase there is Rumpel. He throws a good check on the end boards. Boy, you love to see them finish their checks like that. We've run into quite a string of icings. There's another one with 2:01 to go.
Chris Russell's been a factor tonight. The captain, not the biggest guy. Columbus likes him. This is some of the things that he's done tonight. You know, that attribute that dropped him to the 3rd round, not so critical anymore for the small guy. You know, he is a factor. You've got to account for him and what he's able to do, because he can just flat out beat you. Offensively, defensively, just gets the job done.
What a competitor he is, too. And everybody we talk to around the Medicine Hat team marvel about his work ethic, how he comes every single practice. That's what they tell us. We're not here all the time, but you sure hear a lot of good things about his work ethic.
Chris Russell's instincts match that skill level, as I said before. Boy, when you're that size, you have to play a very geometric game, and you have to have leverage in your legs. And his game is leverage-based an awful lot. Strong down low, and he knows how to use his body properly. I mean, a shoo-in again for the World Junior team in Sweden for Canada.
Russell and Helm was part of that WHL team this week from the Medicine Hat team. And another one as well who's scratched tonight, Krovkin, played for the Russian team. He was called up, got a late phone call. It was a nice highlight for him. He's not in the lineup here tonight. That's Russell with the puck. Chopped in, Dorsett can't hold on to it. Here's Dansereau starting back the other way, lining up a hard shot, and Keatley sees it all the way. Holding on to stop the play.
Keegan Dansereau's got 3 goals for the Hitmen. He leads them in scoring against this Medicine Hat Tiger team. This is just a big shot from over the blue line, but if that's your best scoring chance, I don't think you're going to get past Keatley. I wonder how much net you see when he's out in that position there, 3 feet outside the blue. I'll swear, if you shot that puck from that, if you went and stood there when he was shooting it, you'd say, hey, I don't see any net.
No. It's all about position. Pedersen trying to work the puck free, comes back to Schlemko. Schlemko, long shot through traffic, and that's stopped by Spence. Helm off the boards, darting in front of the net. He's taken down. There'll be a penalty on Calgary. Great play by Helm. He's having a great second period, and he draws that penalty.
Yeah, Helm is got the good wheels. You know, he does a nice job here, Dan. I want you to watch how he protects the puck. This is a good job coming away from the wall, protecting the puck, and still drawing a penalty in front of the net. Watch this. There he is, 14 back. Now watch how he turns right here. I mean, he uses his body beautifully to try to stuff that puck short side. Might even get a better look at it here. There, protect it, try to go short side, down low, and draws a penalty on Michael Stone for roughing.
There's Stone in the penalty box late in the second period here. It's the 5th power play for Medicine Hat. We mentioned their power play ranked number 4 in the Western Hockey League. Calgary, by the way, they're a threat shorthanded. They have 7 shorthanded goals this season. That's among the leaders.
Last Sunday in Portland in their last game, I mentioned it in the pregame show, DuPont with 2 shorthanded goals himself.
Look at this chance for Russell as he was allowed to roam right into the slot, but he didn't get a good shot away. Now he'll have to go all the way back to chase down the puck. As you can see, we're very late here in the second period. This power play to carry over, barring further penalties or a goal. Yo, who has a goal here in the second period, shoots the puck all the way down the ice. Maybe time for one more rush here.
Well, if you're patient, power play, it doesn't matter when you score, first minute, last minute, 15 seconds left in the period.
Here's Glass. Putting it down low, puck scores free. Rumpel trying to come off the corner boards. Glass from the line, shot. Now Bosch takes a shot. That's knocked down, and that'll do it for the second period of play. So the Medicine Hat Tigers will start the third period on a power play for 54 seconds.
That lasts probably 30 seconds of that period with the Tigers on the power play, Dan. That was a very, very good Calgary penalty kill. They know they have to get out of this PK right now without being scored upon. They're going to have 54 seconds to kill off at the start of the third period. And you see the score right here. I think Calgary's still in wonderful position, but as I said earlier, they've got to generate a little more sustained action inside the Medicine Hat zone.
Boy, there's a lot to like about the Medicine Hat Tigers and their systems play there in the second period. I mean, I can't imagine Willie Desjardins not being pleased with just the tenacity of their checking.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was very tenacious all over the ice. But as a coach, you'd like to get more offense out of your team. You look up on the board, you say, we played well, guys, but we're only leading by one. And, you know, the shots on goal actually favor the Calgary Hitmen at this point. Hey, great hockey game. A lot of hockey left in this last 20 minutes.
All right, let's go downstairs. And here again is Barry Strader.
Thank you very much, Dan. I am with Brett Sawney of the Calgary Hitmen. Brett, down 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. What do you guys have to do in the third period now to come out of here with 2 points?
We just got to keep doing what we're doing and give it a little more and just put pucks in the net and drive and play good defensive hockey.
This is the first game of a home-and-home series between the two teams. You've had a lot of success against the Tigers this year. What have been the keys to being able to beat this team twice the last 2 meetings?
Well, they're an awesome team, but I think speed and just crashing the net and just getting in the goalie's face and just putting everything in the net has been a big part of the wins we've come out.
Now, you're from Maple Ridge, BC. I understand you grew up on the same street as your teammate Steve Covington and another former member of the Hitmen, Andrew Ladd. What was that like, the three of you growing up as neighbors and then ending up playing with the same organization in the WHL?
That was definitely something special. It was awesome to come in as a young guy, just seeing some familiar faces. So it's definitely awesome being able to play with Steve still, and it was an honor to play with Andrew.
All right, Brett, thanks very much for doing this. Good luck in the third period.
Thank you very much.
That's Brett Sawney of the Calgary Hitmen, who, by the way, lists assistant coach Dave Lowry as one of his hockey heroes. And now we'll send it over to Dan Elliott. Dan?
All right, thanks a lot, Barry. He may be doing some major sucking up there. We'll have to find that out later. All right, coming up in the second intermission, we take a closer look at 2 Manitoba boys who are having a major impact for the Hitmen, plus a profile on Swift Current Broncos forward Zach Smith, and as well, Dan and Bill will be back with their thoughts through 40 minutes of play. That's all coming up next, right here in Boston Pizza. WHL Hockey on Shaw.
Cancun invites you to rediscover the many wonders it has to offer. In Cancun, the only one missing is you. Mexico, beyond your expectations.
I'm Dan Ashman from AM Ford and Trail. We're here to look after your family's automotive needs for life. AM Ford has 2 full-time business managers, over $5 million in new and used vehicle inventory. Again at AM Ford, remember, when you've seen the rest, buy or lease from the best. AM Ford, Highway Drive Trail.
Taking good care of everything important in your life all starts with AMA Insurance. Experience AMA.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
After 2 years together.
You said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
Gary and Brooke are still in love.
I'm done.
With their condo.
The only logical thing is for her to move out and pay me some sort of a penalty.
What?
Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston.
Investments made easy. Saskatoon Credit Union.
Welcome back to Medicine Hat, Alberta. WHL Central here on location for the Hitmen and Tigers. It's the Tigers leading the Hitmen 2-1 through 2 periods of play. It was Michael Stone evening it up for the Hitmen with his second of the season, and Chris Russell getting the go-ahead goal, his 16th of the season on a great individual effort. Now, as someone who spent some time growing up in Manitoba, I understand all too well that when winter comes, there's only 2 things a young boy can do. He can either stay inside or play hockey. The latter, of course, being a heck of a lot more fun. And that was the case for Hitmen forwards Brody Dupont and Ryan White, who began their careers on the outdoor rinks in Manitoba and are now plying their trade in some of the biggest arenas in Western Canada.
Brody Dupont is 19 years old. He hails from St. Lazare, Manitoba. Ryan White is 18 and his buddies from Brandon. Now, they finished tied for the Hitmen scoring lead a year ago. They are 1-2 again this year, and both were picked to play for the WHL in this year's Canada-Russia Challenge Series.
I think it's just a good honor, you know. You're playing with all the top guys in the WHL, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and just go in there and, you know, work hard and just play your game and see how it goes, and it should be good. It was fun.
Yeah, just, you know, anytime you could beat Russia, it's a big rivalry. I mean, it's one of the biggest in hockey, so it's a big thrill. But I don't know, it's kind of cool seeing your teammates go and beat the Russians.
In addition to all the other things they have in common, both of these guys are third-round NHL draft picks. Brody Dupont in 2005 by the New York Rangers, Ryan White last summer by the Montreal Canadiens. So both guys understand that this year with the Hitmen is a very big year as far as furthering their NHL dream goes.
I just want to get better every day. You know, I think coming to the rink here and just working hard and having fun and just working on my skills and helping this team win. I think the more we win as a team here, the better it's going to be off for me, and I think that's the #1 goal.
Yeah, and they always value the fact that you're on a team that can do well, assuming you've contributed, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think get to play a lot of minutes here, and you know, if we're winning, that looks good on my part. And I think you know, the better we are as a team, and the farther we go down the road here, it's going to be good for you.
You know, I'm just trying to help my team. You know, I'd love to win a Memorial Cup this year. This could, like you said, be potentially my last year. You know, and you know, at the same time, individually, I'm working for a contract right now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, see what happens there, and hopefully I go into New York's training camp in the fall with next year. That's getting way ahead of myself, but you know, on a you know, kind of a good prospect rating. You know, hopefully they think highly of me. So this year's big for me. You know, and the further the team goes, the better it's going to make me. So hopefully, you know, and get a Memorial Cup. I think it's the hardest trophy to win in hockey. You know, you only have a 3, 4, 5 year span to win it. So, you know, that'd be a great honor to get there, and that's our goal this year.
Unless he comes back as an overage, this will be Brody Dupont's last WHL season. Ryan White will have at least one more year. But this is probably their last year as Hitmen teammates. So of all the things these guys have done together in hockey, the one that stands out is the one they haven't done yet, and say they would love to do this season. And that's help the Calgary Hitmen to a championship.
All right, thank you very much, John. Don't touch that dial. Coming up next, a look at one of Swift Current's premier penalty killers, Zach Smith. That's up next right here on Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw.
Southland Leisure and Village Core Leisure Centers offer Calgarians a wide range of recreation opportunities. From over 40 different attractions and amenities, including water parks and drop-in fitness classes, there's something for everyone. Keep you and your family active and having fun at a City of Calgary Recreation Leisure Center.
Hi, it's Saturn Saab in the Calgary Auto Mall.
The Medicine Hat Lodge is Southern Alberta's only 4-star resort and entertainment complex. Enjoy executive guest rooms and suites, cozy restaurants and lounges, a giant indoor water slide park, full-service casino, luxury spa, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more.
Streetside Development Corporation presents Red House in Royal Oak. This new condominium community includes Bosch and Whirlpool appliances, heated underground parking, and long-wearing red concrete roof tiles. Phone 269-6024 or visit redhouseliving.com.
This moment brought to you by Harmony Airways.
Petland. Pets make life better.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
After 2 years together.
You said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
Gary and Brooke are still in love.
I'm done.
With their condo.
The only logical thing is for her to move out and pay me some sort of a penalty.
What?
Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston.
Welcome back to Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw. After 2 periods of play here in Medicine Hat, it is the Tigers leading the Hitmen 2-1. It's Chris Stevens and Chris Russell scoring for the Tigers. Michael Stone countering for the Hitmen. The Hitmen, of course, have won 2 of the previous 3 games versus the versus the Tigers this year. The one loss coming by way of shootout. Now the Swift Current Broncos are once again enjoying life in the Eastern Division. They're currently 1 point back of Brandon for first, despite being the 3rd lowest scoring team in the entire league. They're doing it with team defense this year, led by Maple Creek, Saskatchewan native Zach Smith.
18-year-old Zach Smith is one of only 2 local products in the Broncos lineup. And for him, the step up to the WHL has been a transformation.
Throughout his Bantam and midget career, he was always touted as a scoring type of guy. Last year, he had to really kind of feel his way. He was in and out of the lineup with our team. Now he's kind of evolved into a real solid 2-way forward for us. He's a go-to guy when it comes to key situations in our end, either to take a face-off or to be that 2nd or 3rd forward late in the game in our end to try and get that puck out. I think the big thing with Zach is his work ethic has been real good this year. He battled last year with inconsistency, not knowing where he fit in, what his role was, and he's kind of carved himself out a niche a little bit with how he's worked. The 2-way role that he's kind of accepted and really have run with, and that's something that it's a credit to him. It's a credit to what he needs to do, and he does a great job for us as far as all aspects of the game, contributing offensively, but more importantly defensively.
I mean, it's a lot of work during games. I mean, a lot of effort goes into penalty killing. I mean, you work just as hard as 5-on-5 or PP, but I mean, I wouldn't say it takes away from my points. It gives me an opportunity to play a lot more. So.
The game has changed, and so has the role of special team players like Zach Smith.
Yeah, I mean, that's especially in today's game, how the new rules have changed. I mean, the new penalties, a lot more penalties, and I mean, special teams are a big part. Penalty killing just as important as the power play these days.
The bigger picture for him is he plays against the top lines. Right. So if you're going to be plus against those top lines, that means you're really doing the job defensively and you're putting up offensive numbers, where generally the primary focus against the top lines is you shut them down. If we chip in, that's a bonus.
Being a hometown boy from Maple Creek makes playing in Swift Current a great experience.
We get lots of fans out from Maple Creek, being just over an hour away from home, and my parents get to come just about all of my games, so that's nice too. I mean, it's really nice to play out close to home.
Smith had some challenges to overcome in his game, but head coach Dean Chenoweth is pleased with the progress he has seen so far.
I thought last year the biggest challenge Zach had actually were 2 things, with the physical nature of the game and then also his consistency. And he's done some work over the summer to address the physical side of things that he's been able to apply to his game that allow him to have some success down low in the corners and getting in on the forecheck. And I think the consistency part has picked up, and what has happened a little bit is when you lose a guy like Luke Hunter, Mark Delage, guys that played in the less glamorous roles of the penalty killing and the defensive face-offs and the checking line, we've been able to kind of get Zach in that role where he's embraced it, and it's a real credit to him because he has scored as a younger kid. And I've told him throughout the process that the one thing that it allows is it gives me more flexibility to play him in as many situations as I can. It allows me to move him from center to the wing. And I think that penalty killing has been his strong suit since the start of the season. So all those things add to more ice time, with hopefully generate more scoring opportunities. Now, he hasn't been rewarded statistically as much as some may think, but his play has been very good, and he's been one of our more consistent guys from the start of the season.
For WHL Saskatchewan in Swift Current, I'm John Rogers.
All right, should mention Swift Current losing to Moose Jaw tonight 6-2, by the way. All right, back upstairs. We go now to Dan and Bill. We're standing by with their thoughts and analysis from first 40 minutes of this game. Guys?
Thank you very much, Dan. By the way, we weren't here a week ago. I would like to have been here because, you see some different promotions around the Western League. And in this building last Friday, the Tigers awarded Jeremy Mitchell, a resident of Medicine Hat, a brand new farm wall tractor $15,000 tractor. And Brandon, I don't know what year your tractor is.
I wouldn't know what to do with one.
No, I know, but that's great. Different promotions around the league. We saw some great ones here in the intermission as well. Now, that second period, Bill, some interesting highlights and a couple of neat goals.
Yeah, the first one we'll look at is the Calgary goal. It is a power play goal, and I said during the broadcast, you want to follow up a good play with another good play. Now watch this. This is just advancing the puck up the ice nicely. That Yo gets it to the front to Figrin, but you know what? Peterson chases the puck down. There's the shot. Now Yo stays in front of the net then to screen. That's the key to that whole play. Yo, when you're in deep as a defenseman like he is right there, you want to get up and get to the front of the net and act as a screen. That's exactly what happened, and that's why that puck ended up there. This is a thing of beauty. Russell makes the Hitmen pay three ways. Danzaro loses the race, Stone loses position, Pluth loses gap control, and that puck ends up in the back of the net.
That's a bad three-way combo.
Yeah, you just can't do that against a guy like Chris Russell. He's going to make you pay, and he's so deceptive. There's your summary. We're getting ready for a solid third period.
2-1 in favor of Medicine Hat. Stand by for the third period. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Looking to buy or sell a home, or maybe searching for that perfect vacation hideaway? Whether it's buying, renting, or applying for a discount mortgage, CanadaHomeGuide.ca has it all. CanadaHomeGuide.ca. Open house for everything real estate.
You think I can get an edge on these by game time?
You wouldn't bring your blades to a florist just before the big game. So why would you bring your transmission and driveline concerns to anybody but the experts? Coast Powertrain.
Just a little more. Okay, you close. I'll go tell the husband. Congratulations. It's a Canadian.
J.K. Schmidt Jewelers, Kelowna's Canadian diamond leader.
Aggressively chiseled contours that command attention. The all-new ML350, a style all your own. Hyatt Mercedes-Benz, 9th Avenue and 14th Street downtown. Purveyors of fine automobiles.
Taking good care of everything important in your life all starts with AMA Insurance. Experience AMA.
The health of our children matters to us all. Your donations help upgrade technology and purchase essential medical equipment to provide the very best in healthcare. Kelowna General Hospital Foundation. Live forever. Leave your legacy.
Welcome back to Medicine Hat. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms. Kelly Kissio's Calgary Hitmen. Last time we were on Shaw a couple weeks ago, had a lead going to the third and lost for the first time going to the third with the lead. Medicine Hat, Bill, they've never lost going to the third period with a lead.
Yeah, Kelly Kissio's teams have only been trailing 10 times in this season so far. After two periods, they've come back and won two of them. You're right, the perfectness of the Medicine Hat Tigers, 19-0 when leading after 40 minutes of play.
As we start this period, Tigers on a power play with fresh ice for 44 more seconds. They put that puck in. Yo gobbles it up, handed it right to Schlemko. Schlemko over to Russell, moving in, shoots, and stopped by Spence. Russell to Helm, back of the goal. Now Russell to Dorsett as he gets a little bit of room out here at the blue line. Schlemko to Russell, who vacated his point position for a moment. They're switching around a little bit as Dorsett being checked by Alsner. Alsner has his wraparound cut off easily by Russell. There's Helm from back of the goal. Alsner fell, gives it away to Dorsett. Penalty almost over. Penalty is over. Schlemko's long shot's knocked down. Yo gets the puck up to Covington, who couldn't get it out, but Sawney does. Sawney with DuPont. Sawney had it roll off his stick, and now he'll try to battle in the corner, but Schlemko's going to get it for the Tigers. He'll flip it out to center ice. Stone to Merkley. To White. Off his stick, but it's held in by Merkley. Nice job there. Now to White. White gets it to Stone. Off here to the open wing, but it's gobbled up by Medicine Hat. Rumpel being checked there. White now Plays it back to Stone. Doesn't take a shot. I thought he was going to try to wire it because it worked once before in this game. A Stone shot tipped by Yo for the only Calgary goal. There's a giveaway by the Hitmen. And the Tigers are out of their own zone. 2 minutes gone here in the third period. Tigers making a change. Stone. Now Hengen. Nice pass up there for White. Good long reach by White. Throws it in front. Shot! Oh, and it just went wide. Great opportunity there for Merkley, and he hammered it wide from a sweet shooting spot. Undershoot. He's checked. There's a body check thrown on Helm by DuPont. White sidesteps Swiston, and back comes Calgary 3-on-2. Pass towards DuPont, missed him. Tigers off the glass and out to the Calgary zone. This should be icing. Icing the call on Medicine Hat.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Well, I thought the Tigers did a very nice job of forcing Ryan White way to the outside, but somehow, as good playmakers do, they get that puck into the slot area. I don't know if that shot hit the post or just went wide, but that was certainly a good Calgary Hitmen chance.
Probably their best chance since, what do you think, early in the second?
Absolutely, and that's something to bank on. When you're trailing a good team like this Medicine Hat Tiger team tonight, you want some scoring chances early.
Look at DeVell, his good speed as he brought it in over the line. DeVell, by the way, 9 points in 12 games since coming to Calgary from Regina.
For Mike Reach, that was a good trade for both teams.
Penalty now stopping the play in the Medicine Hat zone, slashing the infraction.
Dave Lowry talked about playing this Medicine Hat Tiger team tonight.
As we know tonight that they're going to be better. Having beaten them the last 2 times we played, they'll be fired up. They're a very good team. They're playing very well right now, and we like playing games like this where we have to make sure that we're on our best to be successful.
Well, I certainly like their start, except for the fact they've taken a penalty here. So again, you got to kill off a very good power play. This Medicine Hat Tiger power play, Dan, has got more goals than any other team in the WHL, so they are pretty deadly.
Power play number 6 on the night. Each team with a power play goal in this game. There's a shorthanded chance for DeVell in over the line. Sonny's in front, and out from his goal is Keatley. It was Covington who came out down that right wing boards. And he, of course, as we talked about on previous telecasts, great penalty killer for Calgary. And he set up a chance there for Sonny.
Yeah, just watch him move. He knows that he's trying to get his shorthanded goal, keeps his feet moving. Sonny's with him, 12 White. And again, a very nice play to break that play up by Jordan Benfeld. And then goaltender Keatley says, thank you very much. I'll take that puck and
love how Sonny was
his left.
Love how Sonny was pumping his legs to get into a scoring position.
I think the Hitmen have done a nice job of coming out here to know that they've got to get their feet moving. They've got to generate something. But that's the guy they got to watch first and foremost is Chris Russell.
It is a good skating game here. There's lots of great skaters in this one, as there is through the Western League. But there's been times where they've just been flying through the neutral zone.
And then there's been a lot of times where there's been so much checking between the blue lines.
So this game's had a few different flavors to it. As Russell brings it in front for Dorsett, rolled off his stick. Now it's held in by Russell. Shot handled by the right-handed catching Spence, who holds on.
Dan, this is a play that a lot of coaches wonder, or scouts wonder, if Chris Russell will be able to have this freedom to make this play. Can it cut in off the wing, get in the high slot area, and make that pass, or as we saw earlier, cut in into that high slot area and take the shot. You know, at that level, folks, that gap control is really, really tight.
I didn't get a chance to point this out early. You don't see games too often where both goalies are southpaws. But that's the case here tonight. Schlemko's long shot. Oh, that whistles wide of the net. Russell to Schlemko. Schlemko to Undershoot. Undershoot to Helm. Back for Undershoot. Russell sneaking in, and it went right between him and Swiston. Half minute to go on the power play. Schlemko's shot is handled by Spence.
Dan, there's one thing the Tigers can say is every one of their 8 defensemen, including Schlemko, are Bantam drafts. I mean, when you draft defensemen that ultimately end up playing for you like that, that's very, very impressive. Penalty on the play, I think, or not. No, there's 27 seconds left in the Calgary Hitmen penalty.
No, this game started with a lot of penalties in the first, and then it settled down. Whether the referees backed off a little bit or the players became wise to what was being called, that's always a debate. There's a long shot. Isherwood safe. Another chance, they score! Brendan Bosch makes it 3-1. It's a power play goal for Medicine Hat.
Jacob Rumpel does a nice job in setting this play up from right there. He knows that so much of this power play is generated from the back end. That's just unlucky that Yo cannot block that puck with his skates. He's looking down. Watch Yo look down. He thinks he's got it and ends up right on the stick of Brendan Bosch. He gets 2 cracks at it, and he gives Medicine Hat that 3-1 lead that they so desperately covet in this kind of a hockey game.
This is 9th of the year for number 9, and it surpasses what he had last year for Medicine Hat. Ennis gets the first assist. And Isherwood, who's been working very hard here tonight, he gets the second assist. So a big 3-1 goal for Medicine Hat. And it's very much uphill for Calgary if Medicine Hat stays with the same tenaciousness as they showed for much of the second period. See how that plays out. Pettersson with some room as he brings it in. Pavel's with them. Pettersson goes wide. He throws it in front of the net. Fegren couldn't reach it. Held in there by Plouffe. Only for a moment as it's forced out. Hengen will shoot it right back in again. Around the horn it goes over to the far side to Stevens. Now it's Stevens trying to glove it down to bring it in, but checked at the line. Dorsett decides to carry it over the line before dumping it back to the net. And Stone has the puck. Michael Stone. Long lead pass. That's broken up. Dorsett backhands it back into Calgary territory. Now it's controlled by Calgary, and they shoot it right back into Tiger territory. Look how quick Medicine Hat gets out. Boy, as they just don't spend much time in their own zone. Helm puts it over top the net. And he hustles over there to get the puck. For me, he's been one of the best players on the ice.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. I think Detroit is ecstatic, the Red Wings, with having him do what he's done since they drafted him as a third-line checking center. He's got a little bit more than that. Dane Todd is a 19-year-old from Red Deer. He separated his shoulder. He's only played 1 game this year, but he's got 8 goals in 7 playoff games last year. He's down with Barry right now.
Thanks very much. I am with a member of the Medicine Hat Tigers who would very much like to be on the ice right now, Dane Todd. Dane, it's got to be frustrating for you. Your 3rd shoulder surgery in your junior hockey career in the first game this season.
Yeah, it's definitely not the way I wanted it to go, but I mean, it's frustrating, but just trying to stay positive, make the best of things, and just be ready to go when I come back.
When are you expected to return to the lineup?
Just the way things are going right now, I'm hoping end of January, start of February.
Still, it must be good for you, even though you're not in the lineup, to be able to see your teammates doing so well, leading the Central Division the way they are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, team's doing really well right now, and hopefully setting up for a long playoff run.
Thanks very much. Good luck. Hope to see you back soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, let's go back upstairs.
Yeah, that's not very good luck. You talk to a Medicine Hat player just as Calgary's putting it into the Medicine Hat goal, and here's a replay of the goal as you see Plante on the power play putting it in for a 3-2 deficit now as Calgary scores on the power play.
Boy, does Brody Dupont do a nice job of checking the traffic where he's going to put it to. When he gets that puck, he looks a couple places, looks for his options, gets it back to the point, goes across the line, shot by Plante, it's the back of the net. Hitmen just won't lay down and quit for 1 second. They know that they can still come back in this hockey game. That's how quickly things can change. That was a good pass by Dupont.
There's another assist on it, but I couldn't pick it up. The crowd doesn't want us to hear the announcements. Plante on the power play. I do know it was at 7:02, so we're back to a 1-goal hockey game. That was sort of a must power play goal for Calgary. I mean, easy to say after the fact, but you know that they wanted one badly. They have a lot of time to get back into a tie situation. They score on the holding penalty that had been assessed to the Tigers' Kevin Undershoot. Here comes Sawney out of his own zone. All the way down the ice for an icing. Face off back to the Calgary zone.
Yeah, as long as a Hitman can stay within one. If we get a look at this one more time, guys, I want you to just watch Brody Dupont when he gets this puck here. He's looking there. He looks back. Now watch this. That pass, the shot and screening in front of the net. But, you know, that's a nice job of getting in front of the net there, I thought, by Ryan White. But I looked before that, and he checked 3 different places, Dupont, that do I go in deep with the puck? Do I go back across ice? Or do I go back to my near point man? And that's why I think Dupont has really developed into a terrific player who's got a ton of skill. Not only a gritty player, he's got a whole lot of moxie to his game. He had an 11-game point streak earlier this season.
That was Elsner who played it over to Plante. So he'll get the first assist, Dupont the second assist. Elsner now has points in 9 of his last 10 hockey games for Calgary. Dupont now for White. There's Merkley taking a shot. That was knocked down. Dupont jumps on it, back to White, deep slot. Shot is handled by Keatley. He holds on.
That's exactly what the Hitmen are looking for. Some sustained pressure inside that Medicine Hat Tiger team zone. You just can't let the Tigers come out at will. Keep that puck in there, forecheck it, win some battles, get that puck in some scoring positions. Now another face-off to Keatley's right. Possession of this puck is important here. If the Hitmen get it, they can sustain some more pressure.
And they do a good job, but Plante falls down by himself, still gets a long shot away, a weak one. Dupont jumping on it, almost lost it. Merkley in the corner, he and Benfeld colliding. Dupont can't handle it, Undershoot starts back. Has Swiston with him, Helm is jumping into the rush, can't get him the puck. Dupont on the back check, going back the other way now. He'll shoot it in. It's hard around these near boards. Alzner from the line, his long shot sailing high over top the Medicine Hat goal. Bosch right now with the 3rd Medicine Hat goal in the 3-2 lead, got the puck out to center ice. Benfeld flips the puck over on the far side. Yo taking it out of his skates, gets it out to center here. Medicine Hat making a change. Rumpel to Russell. Flipped all the way down the ice. This is not an icing. Yo and Ennis battling for the puck. Bosch in there as well, number 9. Ennis in front for Bosch. Puck still there, and it's just knocked wide of the net. Here's Ennis. Ennis squeezing his way through some bodies there. Now spinning. Having a good look. Knocked down, play on, says the ref. Good call, I say. Now Duval was hit. The fans don't like it, but I thought he just kind of checked him cleanly. Here's Ennis. Ennis. Taken down. There's a high hit. Now it is getting quite physical. Schlemko dishes the puck off, and a rebound goes wide of the net. Pedersen ducking to miss one check, but he's hit on the second check. There's Sauer. Ooh, he flattened his man Stone. Fans respond to that. Oh, I like physical play, Bill.
If you like physical play and intensity, these teams have really cranked it up. Each team is trying to outwork the other team's intensity level. It's really, really something.
And the end result
Look at those checks.
This kind of hockey here in the 3rd period in a 1-goal game. Pedersen. Long high shot handled by Keatley. Tigers try the long stretch pass. Stevens just taps it in. Hengen first to it. He's hit high by Lowry. It's finishing their checks. Covington throwing a body check of his own, and another one in that corner.
Dan, there is a thing in hockey called F1, F2, and F3. F1 is the first forward in on the forecheck. If you get a chance to watch this, folks, watch the first man in, how quickly he gets there. And F2, the second forward, is in good position to back that play up.
Dansereau to Covington. Covington throwing it in front. Keatley was down there, but the puck never got through cleanly. Now off the board, Sawney's shot goes off the screen and out of play. So with 8:21 to go in the third, we'll take a break. It's Medicine Hat 3, Calgary 2. It's the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Hey guys, pick whatever you want. Hey guys, pick whatever you want.
It's not wrong if you're in the right place. Boston Pizza. You're among friends.
At Myers Norris Penny, we support the teams of the WHL. Like you, we live in the West and believe in its potential. We also share a passion for the game.
I wish I lived closer to the office. Not this close.
This one's only a 10-minute commute.
Find your perfect place with RE/MAX. View homes like never before with Google Earth on remax.ca.
All Strauss products on sale until December 9th at participating health product retailers across Canada.
Covington trying everything he can to get that puck in and past that goaltender. There's a good job of Covington right there. He fakes, goes around. He almost gets this wraparound to work. You see Keatley really mesmerized a little bit by Covington going around that side. Barely got back in time to the other to avoid the wraparound.
Chance for Calgary in the slot. Comes back to Alsner. Alsner from the blue line. Long shot goes out of play. Well, it's taken over an hour, Bill, but they did change that Calgary goal, the first one of the night, and we had it right up here the first time. He said, patting himself on the back. Stone from Yeo and Fagrin at 1:05 of the second period. That's the first Calgary goal. It's Stone's second of the year.
25-22 shots on goal favoring the Calgary Hitmen, but boy, I'll tell you, they have cranked it up this period. And that's the kind of effort both of these teams were expected to put out here.
Well, the game, as I said earlier, has had all kinds of different flavors to it. I mean, at some points of the game, you think Calgary's the better team. Other points, you think, boy, how are they going to break through some of the neutral zone checking? And I mean, it's got some different ebbs and flows to it, doesn't it?
You know, it does, exactly. And from a coaching standpoint, you know, what you look at in your team is which forwards have you got that'll battle through all of this checking. There's forwards that, you know, I mean, nothing but he comes to mind here, but that'll back away from it. They'll never be there first. They never battle through checks. Right now, that's exactly the difference. Both teams battling exceptionally hard when the going gets tough.
Calgary wins the face-off, and quickly they're out of their own zone, and here comes Dupont. Throwing in front for White, and a good save by Keatley. Dupont took a check to make that pass, but it was still a good pass. Now Yeo's shot blocked. Yeo. Pass over the line for Merkley. That's handled by the goaltender Keatley. Held it for a while, but he didn't hold it long enough for a whistle, so White has a chance now. Back to Yeo. Long shot just went wide of the net. Yeo with a good shot and a good chance. Dorsett the other way. Dorsett slowing things down. Somebody's got a broken stick. Not sure who. Yeah, it's a Calgary player. Yeo's broken his stick. But the puck does come out of the Calgary zone. But Yeo still has to play without one as the puck is shot right back in again. What can he do without one? Not much. Feels like a power play right now. Here's Grant shooting. Save. Rebound. Goes right to Hill or Russell, and he puts it wide. Brown holding it in. There's a shot. Stone tried to give Yeo a stick. A forward's trying to. It's quite funny watching Yeo turn down all the offers. Now, I'm fine without one. Or are you? Sauer from back of the net. He's taken down. Play on, says the ref.
You gotta let him play on. You gotta let these kids play at the pace they're playing.
Then let's do it all the time then.
Yeah, I know that. Really, Yeo could have had maybe a bit of a breakaway, but he can barely get to the box.
Oh, it's good intensity out here in the third period. It's the first day of December, but it feels in some ways like the first day of the playoffs.
That both teams are paying the price. I just saw Ryan White throw himself in front of a shot in his own zone. A real hard Medicine Hat Tiger.
Yo is still playing without a stick. He had one, he got one finally, he took the offer, and he broke that one too. I mean, that was
short life of those sticks.
That was a drag to have to watch the puck the whole shift there. I wanted to watch Yo.
Here's what's happened between these two teams so far in this season. That's a shootout win that Medicine had against Calgary. But look at Calgary's next two games. Big losses to the Medicine, or big wins over the Medicine Hat Tigers. Yeah, you know, this is what you're talking about. This is Yo without a stick. He's just rolling around like a log out there. Watch it over here now. There again, he's trying to get in front of that.
What a job, though.
Oh, and he just kept going at it. And it was funny, like you said, he just wouldn't take a stick. He thought he could do better without one.
Maybe he thought he had to pay for it or something, huh?
Well, if he breaks many more, he might.
Just over 5 minutes remaining in regulation time. And I stress regulation because you just don't know in a game like this. It feels like it has the, well, certainly has the potential to go to extra.
You know, when you talk about today's goalies, Dan, I got to believe, even in a game like this, with so many players making the commitment to block shots, that you better be ready for the deflected shot. You more have to predict, I think, where the second shot is coming from than the original, because likely somebody's going to get in front of it and block that one. But where does that next shot come from? That's a goalie's big decision to make, I think, in the game today.
Right, the deflection is one thing, and then when it's blocked, the quick shot off the block shot.
Yeah, exactly. Where's it going to come from? Yeah. You got to predict that.
Well, that time there was no block shot. It was just right on goalkeeper Spence as he stopped Ennis, and he holds on.
This is just a good job by Ennis, keeping those feet moving, going wide. This Medicine Hat Tiger team doesn't have the biggest forwards. They've got a couple, three guys under that 5'10" range. He's one of them, and he just took that puck wide. And this is a key, boy. Look at, he keeps skating to get that puck into that position on his stick so that he had an angle to shoot it at and got that puck on the net.
Russell from the blue line, his shot, that's knocked down, and Schlemko comes out here, playing it back to Russell. There's Joe. Let's see what he does with this quake. Russell again. Of the 5 goals, I'd say Russell's was maybe the prettiest as he went coast to coast. That was in the second period. Brennan Bosch, the 3-1 goal at 4:51 of this period. Plot answering back for the 3-2 goal, and that's where we sit here now late in the third. Uh-oh, that's got to be a penalty, and it is. I don't know why Dorsett's arguing it, but you can't throw a guy into the boards here. They're going to call that every time.
Dorsett just shoves his man to the boards. Oh my goodness, this is one of those plays that, you know, hitting from behind is always going to be called. Dorsett not very happy with that, but you watch it right there. Kaboom, that's almost head first, and the Medicine Hat Tiger fans do not like that. Is that Michael Stone that he knocks to the wall? Hey, this is the power play right now with 4:11 left that the Hitmen needed to get back in this hockey game, and now they have to come out firing.
Well, the Tigers might not like it, and the fans might not like it, but they're kind of fortunate the player got up, or it might have been longer than a 2-minute penalty. So here we go, late in the third period. Calgary will have a chance on a power play. If that doesn't work, you know the goalie's coming out as well. So essentially, you have to believe they're going to have a man advantage through the rest of the hockey game as it goes offside.
And you know, power plays and penalty kills are always a case of which team outworks the other team. It's been said so many times, power plays win you games and penalty kill saves you games. And right now, if you're the Medicine Hat Tigers and Kevin Undershoot and the rest of this squad, it's a penalty kill that might, just might, get this thing done for them. Although, as you said, there'll be certainly time after that with a goaltender out.
Each team kind of a push tonight, 2 power play goals each. The only even strength goal was the Russell goal in the second period. So So Plant goes back for it. Plant and Alsner at the back. White and DuPont up front. Dansereau's sneaking at the far blue line right now, as Plant brings it all the way in over the line before dishing it off to White. Plant again. Here's Alsner. Alsner back to Plant. Long shot goes wide. Rebound, who's going to get it? Schlemko is, at least for the moment. Tied up by White. Russell plays it around the boards, and he takes a friendly hop, and out it goes.
You got to think Russell might know that that board does that in that zone.
Is that called home ice advantage?
Yeah, Schlemko and Russell solid together on that penalty kill.
Sellout crowd here, chanting "Go Tigers, go!" Very loud in this building. Hengen, DuPont, shot, save. Hitmen trying to quiet this crowd. A goal would do that, but a save or a blocked shot instead. Hengen, that one's knocked down. Hengen, does he hold it in? No, offside.
So many teams do this now, and that is get guys in front of their net. Defensive players want you to watch how many black or dark brown shirted Medicine Hat Tigers are around their net. Probably every guy on the ice is in there in the slot area or less, and then this puck here is just not kept in at the blue line. Face-off comes outside the Tiger blue line. Still 12 seconds left in this power play for Calgary.
Held in by Yo. Yo over to Hengen, but he couldn't tee it up. There's a pass, and it goes wide. Oh, Pettersson has a glorious opportunity for Calgary. Half a net to shoot at, and he put it wide. Tigers are back at full strength. Here comes Dorsett. Saved by Spence. Oh, we have some good action. But how did Pettersson miss?
Yeah, Pettersson's asking himself that right now. How did I possibly miss on this play? I think Hengen actually mishandles his puck a little bit, but he gets it right across the ice. That shot is just wide. It misses the net. But the Tigers find a way to come back. Dorsett, who has been terrific for the Tigers, gets a shot on goal, and Spence says, "I'll take that."
Now we have 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Tigers back at full strength. We'll watch the goalie now. Sawney brings it in over the line. Spence staying in his net for now. Alsner has to chase back to get it. When do you like to get the goalie out, Bill?
Well, I think in this kind of game, it's not as obvious that you've got puck control established in the other end.
Right.
But maybe the goaltender out gives you that forward to make that happen. I'm guessing he's probably got to go out pretty much on this right.
Let's see how that plays out, as Alsner does not get to the red line, and so it's icing called on Calgary.
And a timeout's got to be called.
Yeah, but Alsner's got to get to the red line, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I looked up at Stone, the goaltender Spence, and he wasn't making a move to come out at that particular play. Face-off down in his zone.
And a timeout. That's also the thing that the coach has in his back pocket. When does he use it? Does he wait for an offensive zone face-off? In all likelihood, the answer to that is yes.
Well, this is where really knowing your players, trusting your players is so important. Knowing who you can put out there to defend that lead and protect that puck properly. Like, wow, when you make that pass, Dan, even in this situation, back to the point, you got to be very, very certain that it's going to get there.
Now they'll probably get the goalie out as they get to center ice. Goalie heads to the bench, extra attacker, and there's a cross-ice pass. Dansereau shot, save, rebound, and Keatley's got it. It was sitting in the top of the blue shaded crease for about a, well, 1 or 2 count, but no white-shirted Hitmen could get their stick on it.
You know, this is just good advancement. Ryan White up the ice, gets that puck to this guy, Dansereau, right here. He stops, he's got some room, and that puck just squirts away from the front of the net to a point where goaltender Keatley can jump on top of it. But Dansereau with the shot, Hitmen get traffic in front of the net, and Keatley finds the puck.
Timeout, Calgary.
Yeah, you know, you better get possession of the puck for these plays to work. And then everybody knows that too. And there's no way in a situation like this that Kelly Kissio can be telling your team what to do if you lose the faceoff and win it. More likely than not, it's a case of if we get the puck, guys, this is what we want to do with it.
Kelly Kissio, now look at the Medicine Hat bench.
Yeah, and you'll see the goals that they've scored here tonight. Stevens, Russell. This is Stevens in front of that, a power play goal. Rebound, nobody there to cover Stevens as he comes in and whacks it in. Russell goes coast to coast. And we're back underway.
We are after the timeout. Now Pedersen back to Alsner. Alsner down to DuPont. DuPont back to Pedersen, winding up. Back to Alsner. Shot, save, rebound. They're banging away at it, and it's swept away by Russell. Russell hit by DuPont, but he got the puck out. Alsner going all the way back to collect the puck. Pedersen has it. Pedersen, lead pass up for Sawney. There's a centering pass, but it comes out. Dorsett's giving chase. Can he get it? He's tied up, but it's going to roll into the empty net anyway. Wow, you don't see many empty netters like that. DuPont ends up scoring on his own goal.
Yeah, this is something DuPont is trying to get back. He's got a real battle on his hands with Dorsett. That puck is cleared out into that zone right there. That's a race. DuPont tries to make contact with it. His skate, kicks it into that open cage. But boy, I'll tell you, earlier, did Keatley ever stand at the top of his crease and establish position that made it very, very difficult for the Calgary Hitmen to get that puck past him.
Dorsett gets credit for the goal, with Glass getting the first assist at 19:45. So the Medicine Hat Tigers win this game, the 4th of 8 meetings, front end of a home-and-home series. Calgary had posted 2 victories and an SOL here in Medicine Hat, and so the Tigers win this game, and the same 2 clubs tomorrow. And if it's anything like this tonight, it should be quite a game at the Saddle Dome.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, everybody we talked to, from players to coaches on that Calgary team, knew that they'd expect a different hockey club tonight in this Medicine Hat Tiger team. And frankly, you know, they got it. They got a team that just came out here, and I was very, very impressed how that team put the work boots on from start to finish in this game tonight, and worthy for the win against the Hitmen.
Medicine Hat Tigers on this first night of December, posting yet another victory. Boy, are they hot. Stay tuned, we've got more coming up. It's the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Streetside Development Corporation presents Red House in Royal Oak. This new condominium community includes Bosch and Whirlpool appliances, heated underground parking, and long-wearing red concrete roof tiles. Phone 269-6024 or visit redhouseliving.com. The City of Calgary Aquatics and Fitness Centers have years of experience providing quality swim and fitness-related programs and services. Teach your children the value of lifelong swim skills. For information, visit calgary.ca/pools or call 311.
Looking for a pet that's just a little out of the ordinary? Petland has all your favorites that creep, crawl, and slither, not to mention all the expert advice and supplies you'll need to care for them. Petland. Pets make life better.
This moment brought to you by Harmony Airways.
The Medicine Hat Lodge is Southern Alberta's only 4-star resort and entertainment complex. Enjoy executive guest rooms and suites, cozy restaurants and lounges, a giant indoor water slide park, full-service casino, luxury spa, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more.
Pave your own roads and own the paved ones. The Nissan Pathfinder. Calgary's best deals are at Fish Creek Nissan. 14750 McLeod Trail South. Shift landscapes.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
Your son, the son of the devil.
Welcome back to Medicine Hat at the arena, where the Medicine Hat Tigers have defeated the Calgary Hitmen by a score of 3-2. And I am with our first star tonight, goaltender Matt Keatley of the Medicine Hat Tigers. Matt, first of all, a close game, and certainly the play on the ice reflected that. It was pretty tight out there.
Yeah, it definitely was tight. They go in about halfway through the third there, and they just kept coming. They kept peppering me with shots. They're a good team, and we just happened to keep them off tonight at the end.
You guys certainly expected this from the Hitmen, a team that had defeated the Tigers in the last couple of outings.
Yeah, they definitely have. They've come out hard. They kind of smoked us at home there, so we wanted to come back on them, and they're going to be a good team tomorrow night too at the battle. So I think it's short-lived, and we got to get ready to go against them again.
You've been back in the lineup for a couple of weeks now since suffering an MCL sprain in your knee. How are you feeling? Obviously, by the looks of the results on the ice, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I am. It was a day-to-day thing. I wasn't sure when I was going to get back, but I'm excited to be back in the lineup, and it makes you appreciate playing every game. So I just want to come out and work hard and be as tough and as solid as I can in front of the boys.
Thanks very much, Matt, for joining us tonight. Congratulations on the win, and good luck in Calgary tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
That's Matt Keatley, goaltender for the Medicine Hat Tigers, our first star tonight. Now let's go to Dan.
Thanks, Barry, and thanks, Matt. And I'm just thinking while I'm listening to Matt, how many times has he been selected a star in this building?
It's been terrific, and he was a big difference tonight. But it was part of a team effort. It was a complete effort, I thought, by the Medicine Hat Tiger team. Dan, they've scored more goals than anybody in the league. I talked about that earlier. And for them to commit to play defensively the way they had to tonight, right through the lineup, that was, to me, was very impressive.
If you ask me, I thought Keatley's best goaltending was in the first 5 minutes. I mean, he was good through the game, but Medicine Hat got the first goal. They never relinquished the lead here tonight, and I think Keatley was a big reason why, because Calgary had some early chances.
And when you are Keatley, in the last game you played, you only faced 10 shots.
Right.
And then you come out, and that was a 2-0 win over Moose Jaw, come out against a great Calgary team like this and have to play the way that he had to play tonight. That's impressive, and that's the thing I think that the Calgary Flames like about him, and that's why they drafted him. He's a really solid goaltender. That last flurry around the net, I thought, was some of his best positional hockey. He did not allow Calgary anything in that area.
All right, if you join us late, we have just a couple minutes, so we have a chance to peek at all the goals. We had 6, I guess, in the hockey game. So let's roll the goals, and here's how it unfolded here tonight in order.
Well, they were tough. These were tough goals to come by. Stevens with the first goal for Medicine Hat. A power play goal by Yo in front of the net. A defenseman doing the job. Coast to coast by Russell. Boy, that was a thing of beauty. Maybe my favorite of the night. Bosch on some great work by Ennis and Isherwood. Keep that puck in. Battle for position in front of the net. Plot, nice shot from the blue line, back of the net, get some traffic in front of the #1 star. And then this one here, an empty netter. Dorsett in a race with DuPont. DuPont's skate kicks it in that open net.
So that win gives Medicine Hat 50 points. They're the first team to get to 50 in, well, I guess they are the first team to get to 50 in the Western Hockey League. And you know, you just wonder if this team is capable of playing every which way so far in the games we see.
Yeah, they you know what? Real quickly, they are, second in the country? Or third, top 3 teams, and tonight they showed why.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, it was a nice matchup, and I'm sure they'll be doing the same thing tomorrow at the
I wouldn't miss
Saddle
that game at the Saddle Dome.
I'm going to stay in Alberta for that one. Let's go. Dan, are you going to stay in Alberta for the rematch tomorrow?
I'd love to, guys, but I'm going to be heading home. I know you can't believe that, but great job as usual tonight. Nice to see you guys working live for a change. Let's take a look at the Cal Tire 3 stars. We heard from Matt Keatley before. He made 26 saves tonight, also chipped in with an assist. Chris Russell, that great end-to-end rush. Of course, he plays just a major amount of minutes. He was the 2nd star, and Brody DuPont, always a force for the Calgary Hitmen. He was the 3rd star tonight. All right, we need to take one final timeout. We'll be back with more wrap-up of this game. We'll also take a look at the out-of-town score. That's coming up next right here on Boston Pizza, WHL Hockey on Shaw.
Looking to buy or sell a home, or maybe searching for that perfect vacation hideaway? Whether it's buying, renting, or applying for a discount mortgage, CanadaHomeGuide.ca has it all. CanadaHomeGuide.ca. Open house for everything real estate.
If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, you can be overwhelmed by the complex legal system. For some down-to-earth legal advice, call Alan Rella at 426-8981 or toll free 866-426-8981.
Yeah, I got needs. Big needs.
Nothing that 362 pounds of pure torque can't take care of, though.
This year, the Millionaire Lottery gives you a complete prize package. A furnished luxury home with interior design by Sarah Richardson, 3 vehicles, and $250,000 in cash. Check all the prize details online, then get your tickets by phone or at London Drugs.
Now playing on Shaw Video On Demand.
You know, the first thing my son said to me when I got out, promise me you ain't gonna ever leave me again.
My son was in the car. What did they take the car?
Messing with them is suicide.
Trust me on this.
Revenge runs deep. I want my son!
It was the Medicine Hat Tigers evening in the season series with the Calgary Hitmen at 2 wins apiece. They defeat the Hitmen 4-2. It was Chris Stevens, Chris Russell, Brendan Bosch, and Derek Dorsett scoring for the Tigers. Michael Stone and Alex Plon countering for the Hitmen as the Tigers have now won 10 of their last 11. Matt Keatley making 26 saves, also chipped in with an assist as the Tigers pick up their 50th point of the season as they lead the WHL and are on their way to possibly another regular season championship.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
All right, our next game is a week from tonight, Friday, December 8th, when the Everett Silvertips, led by Peter Mueller, Leland Irving, Zach Hamler, and Kelowna take on Chris Ray, Troy O'Folkney, and the rest of the Rockets. Game time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Of course, I'll be back at WHL Central in Vancouver. As for tonight, it was the Tigers with a huge home win over the Hitmen, 4-2. Bosch, Russell, Stevens, and Dorsett scoring for the Tigers. Matt Keatley, 26 saves, along with an assist to be the first star in tonight's game. For Dan Russell, Bill Williams, Barry Strader, Ken Thrower, and our entire crew here in Medicine Hat, I'm Dan Elliott. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Hair and salon services for Shaw TV, provided by Lather Hair Salon in Kensington.
Hello, everyone. The Christmas season is in full swing, and the Calgary Police Department is reminding you to plan ahead when it comes to celebrating, especially if alcohol is involved. The return of the festive season check stop will once again be targeting drivers who drink and then get behind the wheel. Reporter Jeff Tincher has more.
Christmas may still be a few weeks away, but Calgary police say it's always a good idea to get a head start on cracking down on people who drink and drive during the holiday season. Each year, law enforcement officials step up the number of check stops in December as part of their Selective Traffic Enforcement Program, or STEP. And each year, they deal with a number of drunk drivers who think they're above the law.
People just don't think that they're the problem, or people don't think that it's going to be them. Well, statistically, it's sooner or later going to be you.
Sergeant McCauley says as the city continues to grow so rapidly, spreading word about the Check Stop program and the penalties if you get caught is more important than ever.
Well, drinking and driving, you're going to lose your license for a year. The legal fees alone are going to be staggering into the thousands. If you've had a number of convictions, you risk some jail time.
Police are once again partnering with Mothers Against Drunk Driving and associated taxi cabs and even a local brewery to encourage Calgarians who will be partying and drinking to make plans for advanced transportation.
We have a coaster campaign that we're trying to advertise and remind people of their responsibilities that we're kicking off, and just basically distributing coasters all across the bars in Calgary with a kind of a comical message on there to make them aware of their condition when they're leaving the bar, and perhaps it would be appropriate to get a cab.
So if the medium is the message, then this should be a perfect reminder about the importance of planning ahead for alternate transportation, either by bus, by taxi, or by car if you're planning on driving and then drinking this holiday season. Jeff Tincher, Shaw TV, Calgary.
The 18th annual Mayor's Food Drive is underway. Dave Brown-Kanye, local media, and supporting businesses gathered at the West Hills Safeway to help kick off the month-long campaign with a friendly game of Golden Shopping Cart. Shaw TV reporter Shiva Jahancha was at the event and brings us details of the campaign in this next story.
Come on, girls!
The race is on to feed Calgary's less fortunate this holiday season. The Golden Shopping Cart contest kicks off the 18th annual Mayor's Christmas Food Drive. Every year, participants take part in the interactive shopping event. The goal is to help feed those in need during the holidays.
Well, we rely on it greatly. I mean, it's unfortunate, I guess, in a way that this problem does exist 12 months of the year, and the awareness is at the highest, of course, at Christmas time. But it goes a long way in getting it through. This is probably our busiest time of the year, so it helps immensely.
Last year, the Mayor's Christmas Food Drive campaign pulled in about $600,000 worth of food. The food bank fed over 100,000 Calgarians in 2005 alone, 42% of which were children.
Here's your chance to get involved. Drop off your food donations to any of the food bank's sponsor locations throughout the month of December. For more details, log on to calgaryfoodbank.com. The Calgary Fire Department is ready to fight fire with fire when it comes to fighting a worker shortage in Calgary. Reporter Jeff Tincher now with how you can get involved and why the city is looking to hire as many as 200 more firefighters.
If you think you've got enough stamina to pass a fitness test like this one, then you just might have what it takes to become a Calgary firefighter. After an 11-month-long freeze on applications, the Calgary Fire Department is looking for hundreds more qualified candidates to hire.
Due to the attrition factor with the number of firefighters that are retiring through the city, and also with the unprecedented growth of Calgary, it's time for us to reopen the recruitment process and start processing files again.
Ken Wilson says one of the major advantages to applying to the Calgary Fire Department is the fact that once a person is hired on, the CFD will automatically pay for their National Fire Protection Association certification, training that normally costs $10,000. Wilson also says another advantage is that candidates with little or no fire training can also apply. You just have to ensure you're physically fit to start off with.
There's a few basic requirements. First of all, you need to be 18 years of age. You need to be eligible to work in Canada, so either a resident of Canada or you have your landed immigrant status, or an equivalent of that qualification. And then you also have to have your EMR certification, which is your emergency medical responder, and you need to have a valid Class 5 driver's license with fewer than 7 demerits.
All candidates must first pass the preliminary fitness test before being considered. Then they're put through an intensive training program.
The recruitment drive starts today, and for more information about the application process or to download an application form, you can visit calgaryfire.ca or call 974-4876. The cold weather earlier this week left many Calgarians thinking about how the homeless were coping with a lack of shelter in the city. The old brick building on 16th Avenue has been in the news as plans are in the works to use it as an emergency site to house the homeless. Natasha Rapchuk brings us up to speed on what's going on with the new building. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Lara.
Now, a bit of a recap for us. What has been the situation with the brick building?
This proposal came out about a month ago now that the city, in conjunction with the Mustard Seed Street Ministry, who, as most people know, operates a shelter downtown.
Right.